Welcome back, guys. I'm your not so humble game master TJ, and this is Dice of Ages presenting CrestVahllen, the Argent Flame. Last we left off, this is episode 93. Last we left off, what did I miss something? You want me to dance?
No,
what are you doing?
I'm on the moon.
Oh. What the hell? I keep looking at you being like, what did I mess up? What did I mess up this time?
You didn't mess anything.
Okay.
It's the same motion.
You give me this look, though. You give me this look like, did you get a thing?
Did you get it?
And I'm just like, why did I do wrong? Okay. Anyway, last we left off,
for mankind.
Zemdak and Trisheni were on some strange
Alien surface
with something that looks like the Aetherworld macrolith there. Cole and Log. We have Kenton, Kevin, and Cole. How dare you, by the way, have names that are so similar? How dare you?
It's my brother's name.
Yeah, no, how dare both of you? How dare you? It's like, you're taller. How dare you?
I believe I have a response for that, TJ.
Well, I mean,
They didn't name
I
them.
remember that.
Yeah, I didn't really have a choice in this one.
Yeah, no, that's the joke.
didn't
Okay,
somebody-
let's go.
Somebody used the name Kevin.
Cole and Log were almost died, but were rescued by
I need a general
Eleazar.
name.
Log ran quietly out of the room and didn't remember which way to go, so just went right. And
Joe's wrong here.
Argus and Kevin Cole is still stunned. Argus is in this ethereal, strange form and trying to this soul of this younger Meckel self with this doll and trying to struggle with, like, do I put the soul inside of the vessel? Do I give it a new body? Like, it doesn't know what's happening with that. And Meckel is just leaning into the whole thing, not really understanding what's going on, while his physical form in this absolute abomination is wreaking havoc in the material plane in that room where many of you have been split from, down to different positions, different spaces or spatial orientations, different planes. So we're actually going to come back to, I believe we left off with you, right? And you rolled we rolled a...
So you rolled a disadvantage.
No, that was a straight roll.
Yeah, it was straight.
That was straight roll, and it was a
It was a
five.
Yeah, it was a
4 or
failure.
5. It was 4 or 5 or 6. It
5
was really
plus
low.
7.
8.
So 8 was it when we needed to hit a 20.
Is what you said.
It wasn't enough. So you try to push this vessel. Try to make this vessel contain something. This soul or this younger self of Meckel, and you're getting the kind of resistance that's when you put two poles of similar values, magnetic-wise, try together, and like you feel the resistance. You can kind of touch them together by brute force, but you definitely feel that magnetic invisible force that's kind of like pushing you apart. I don't think that you think that you're doing it wrong, or like maybe you are doing it wrong. It doesn't seem. I'll word this better. I don't think you think that this is an incompatible thing to do. I think you think that you're just not doing it correctly. Or I think that, yeah, that's probably, you get the sense it's probably what you're doing. You just might not be doing it correctly. Doesn't mean that you can't try again, but it does mean that it might be more difficult. Does that make sense?
You're just not giving your medication the right way.
I'm going to say that's probably your whole thing, right? Because you tried to do it. This is an intensive process, so unless there's something else you'd like to do.
I just want to... So as it stops working, I just want to, like...
Also, I want to make sure, like, it's not like a, oh, it stopped working. It's more like a, there's still a lot of, there's, like, the energy in the world around you is like shaking. This isn't like, it's working! Like, there's lightning storm, that type of feel, that's what's going on. Like, both of your souls, your presences are in flux. It's not a comfortable position to be. It's not just like, it didn't work. It's just, this could go wrong very badly, very quickly.
Well, I don't want to get my own soul sucked in here. So, I want to just say to Meckel...
You have to, like, speak up now, too, because of, like, all this like soul pressure now that's happening all around you.
We don't have to become one for me never to leave you. Can you go back to your body? I'll take care of you.
I'm going to ask Meckel this question. Is that something that you could possibly be receptive to?
Of going back to my body? Yes. Going to the jar? No. Yeah. But I will try to...
I'm more of like him taking care of you. But also, yeah, going back to your body.
Sure. But I think Meckel would kind of misinterpret that. And start heading or attempting to go back to his body.
I don't think at the moment you can move because you're kind of interlocked still.
Right,
You're also kind of laced into each other. The reason why I ask, if it's okay, sorry to interrupt, is I'm going to actually let you roll a persuasion check. I'm going to let you decide the DC of like what it is that he may have to roll to try to, I don't want to say convince, but make it feel like it's a safe and a good course of action. Does that make sense?
Initially, I think what I would do is I would try to back up after he says that,
Sure.
but I would try to pull him with me
Okay.
initially.
Okay. Yeah, you can try that. Is there something that you would like him to roll? Like, would you, as far as like, are you trying to like grapple and pull him?
Yeah, I think that's what we're
Okay,
kind of like
cool.
in a grapple now, so it would be some sort of tug.
So here's what I'll say. Why don't you roll contested rolls?
Okay.
I think in this moment your souls. So you guys can roll contested wisdom rolls if you like.
Okay.
And then, but I also don't want to take the agency of what it is that you guys are doing here. So you take those rolls and you be the game master in those decisions to decide what it is that's going to happen between those two rolls. Okay. If one is higher than the other, you guys decide amongst yourselves how you want to represent that. Okay?
Okay. So at this point, after you say that, again, there isn't a maliciousness or anything behind it. It's just more like kind of like somebody taking you by the hand. That's how it's meant to feel, and kind of like taking you back. So you initially get kind of like a tug, not a yank or like an aggressive sort of thing. It's just that maybe he misinterpreted. So I guess it's contested. Oof. I got a 16.
That's cool. I rolled the 2.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So I get pretty far. I guess.
I thought you weren't proficient yet.
The cleric soul folger gets his soul pulled by a child or a younger. This is
7,
insane.
but yeah, I rolled the 2.
Yeah, I got a 13 on the dice.
So
16.
Argus is trying to not come with you, but a piece of him is so tethered because he doesn't know, he wants to help you. I mean, I put your soul back. I wanted you to be who you're supposed to be, but I'm worried that where your body is so not you, and now that I see your soul as not being that body, I'm concerned. But I'm like, I need you. Argus wants to save you, but you are also a little kid, so he's going to go with you because he doesn't,
I'm like
he doesn't
12,
know. He doesn't
so I'm
know.
not like... Yeah.
It's
Okay,
I'm
fair
like
enough.
52.
Oh.
He's a youngin' too.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want you to, like, I know that as a younger person, you may not feel comfortable going, like, safe to get back to your body. And I'm trying to show you that I'm a safe person, basically. So I'm going to help guide you back to your body as you pull me. So I'm not going to resist as much as I want to.
Okay. So as you do that, and we start moving back towards my body, I will take that. Meckel will take that as a sign of not just compassion, but also consent, and start trying to pull you back into his body with him.
I'm not going with you back.
Yeah.
I will literally light on fire before I get. So I'm gonna go close. So you moved 15 feet away,
So to speak. Yeah.
So when you're 5 feet from your body, if you try to pull me more, I'm gonna resist and go fire.
So, that's fair. Here's where I'm gonna come in here. You rolled absolute trash.
rolled
you
a two.
Yeah. You rolled very, very well. You have the upper hand in this. Like, if you want to pull him in, you feel like you could.
Okay.
And I think that's what it is you're trying to do. If you're trying to like do a last minute, like absolutely not. There is one last thing I think you could do, which is like try to go fire that whole thing and like go fully like no and invoke your own your own power. You also know that is not a scalpel. That's a bomb.
Right.
That is something that you don't know what type of damage that could do to his actual soul or yours for that
True.
matter.
So we're at the 5 foot mark, and you
Yep.
start resisting or whatever.
Yeah.
I will still hold on to him, but I'm going to, so to speak, open up the window, and so you can see all these other things kind of like sitting amongst where you think he would be alone, and he's trying to. You get the impression that he's trying to sort of like push them aside and make a space for the two of you.
Thought you were saving yourself when you took that fucking doll, didn't you?
I'm just going to tell Michael that I am my own person. I am my own agency. I cannot come with you. But I can see you on the other side.
He looks at you and tries to concentrate back on the image that he had of your, maybe it was your father. It was just a brief glimpse of when he opened up that drawer and saw the burned symbol. And then sort of like tries to send you an idea of that symbol amongst the crowd that's in that, in the area that he was trying to separate.
So I'm going to try to change that image and show that symbol light on fire and get bigger and merge into the fire person that I met in person and just expand. And everything around it just started igniting. I'm trying to change that image to show you that me in there will be explosive and it will burn everything.
Mecca looks at you and points at the thing, and he can't seem to speak, but you're somewhat used to reading lips in here now.
I actually have the feet that I can read lips.
Oh, okay. All right, nice. That works out. And he says to you, "Until only I remain."
I can show you.
And shows you sort of like that area that is just him now without this mass of other things.
So, if I may, your passive insight is quite high. If I'm not correct, that like you almost want him to burn a part of you away.
I want him to burn all the peripheral
You want him
stuff.
to burn everything away except for
me.
What is inviting you in? He wants you to.
And leaving me there alone without all those other...
Do I have any insight and feeling like I can actually do this?
You can absolutely make an attempt.
You are a god.
I am.
I am a god.
But that's putting faith in myself.
Yeah. And I roll a 3 every time.
Remember, the divinity's inside of you.
That's true. It is my power.
I heard you get told
I'm
that.
not trying to persuade you either way. I'm just trying to make clarification as to what the intent was there.
Yeah, just as player knowledge, since your insight is probably high enough to... Michael wants you to go in and burn out all those attached,
Yeah.
all that crap that, of course, Cole saw firsthand.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
It would be me that would be in here.
Oh,
doing
sorry. I
this.
have to say that as Cole.
It looks like he's nodding because they're running away, and he's just.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you to stay, and I'm gonna run in there and blow as much fire as I can.
Okay.
So I will stay outside and see what happens.
You want to say like outside the blast radius?
No, I'm
You
staying
open
outside
the-
my body.
You open the door to how your psyche connects is to your body. You let him in, and you close the door behind you, and you wait in the hallway.
Yep, pretty much.
We'll get back to that in a moment.
Yeah.
Fist bump.
Back to the low gravitational area where Zemdak and Trisheni are. This is so many scenes. All of you must be so worried. Like, we guys are all focusing on your own thing, but like, where are my companions?
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
throughout all of this, I don't think you are aware too much of the things that are going on because that's part of it. But you can see Cole, Eleazar.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
So the point is, he's also one causing all this. So to end this,
Yeah.
I have to deal with Meckle.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so
I mean, you
that's
don't have
like
to
a-
explain
you're
your
also
things to
aware
me.
that-
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, you are
So-
probably the only one that's in a other like plane or something that is aware of like that
What's
you
going
can
on. And-
see that you can see
Except
in
for
the
I have no clue where they went.
Yeah, you don't see Zemdak or Trisheni, but you do see Eleazar, Cole,
just
and
And
well,
the, yeah,
not
the
Log
body,
anymore actually.
the body is still reacting.
Well, I think you do
Just
because
I'm
randomly
not
roaming off
controlling it.
somewhere.
And
just-
I can tell that.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm like,
His passive perception's high enough to see you in stealth, so he saw you.
he's in.
Yeah.
Passive perception's 20.
no, I didn't go invisible. I just wouldn't.
But it's also
yeah,
like
no,
you know
no, his
the
passive
walls
perception
here are
probably-
only ephemeral, so like you could probably get a vague sense.
So would I have seen them disappear? Trisheni and Zemdak?
I thought you did.
That happened
before I think we.
But
before
I was-
you. I think
I was ethereal by then.
I know you were, and that's all well and good. I think it's going to be up to you about how involved do you think with this thing that you were involved, because that is
At that
something that happened extremely
That was
quickly.
before I got to him.
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
when
a-
he disappeared.
that was-
that
Uh-huh.
she tipped.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, I was still trying to process. There's a little Meckle in front of me in this weird thing, and then it disappeared, and then I saw them like.
Disappeared at the same
Matt keeps making the point. Not a little young Mac, just
Yeah.
a younger Mac.
I have a 10-year-old.
by 4 or 5
so
yeah.
Oh,
to
yeah,
me,
okay.
Yeah.
It's still a little. Yeah.
Like
Like I
Yeah,
think
but
Michael's
imagine
like what,
that,
20
that
years
they're,
old?
you know, imagine
Michael's
your
like-
Argus' size. He's not little.
right.
Michael's like
my,
what, 20 years old?
Yeah, Michael's.
And so he's
20s.
like 15, 16 years old. Is what you
So
said.
he's actually taller than you.
Probably, yeah.
but
15, 16,
he
yeah.
that form probably exudes much more innocence than Meckel physically would.
Right.
That makes sense.
So-
Cole can attest to that lack of
Hey,
innocence.
Trisheni, I still can't
Hey.
hear. And I think I disassociated there for a little while. But, like, I feel like I'm here. But where the heck is here?
Okay.
You-
You say that you hear nothing
There's no air.
because
Space
there's
is
no
back.
air to be a catalyst for
I see him.
sound.
I see him.
You hear your own voice, but you can
No,
see his.
I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
I'm seeing him mouth
Yeah,
things.
you can read his lips.
And
Well,
then
you
are
I
inside
do,
the air bubble
Yeah.
that you could hear your own.
and then I
voice.
do.
No.
because you guys are in
I'm
your
still
own.
deaf.
He's still deaf.
Yeah, you don't have radios.
Oh,
You guys
you're
are in
still
your own
deaf.
astronaut spacesuits right
But
now.
I'm
And
so
then-
deaf.
You know,
on
he's
top
still
of that.
deaf.
Yes,
So he
you are.
can't hear his
So
voice.
wait. So I also want to be very clear about one other thing that's happening. One other thing that's happening. Your bodies feel very hot.
I thought we were on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's very low pressure out here because there's no air. What happens when there's low pressure on a liquid? What happens to the boiling point?
Yeah, we need to get the fuck out of there.
Waiting to find out.
You mean you don't want your blood outside of you?
It's like you feel very cold and very hot at the same time.
Okay.
It doesn't feel good. You guys have time. Consider this kind of the same way of like when you're underwater and you're holding your breath. Like you have a couple minutes. You guys are okay, but this does not feel good.
Okay.
The clock has started.
I see you moving your lips, and I'm like, I take out my copper bracelet again. I can't hear what you're saying. I have to do this every single time we want to communicate. Over. And you can hear it because it's magic, so.
Where are we?
I don't know exactly. Also, did you see? You saw all that other stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all out on the table now. Great.
Ignoring that for the moment, how do we get back?
I mean, I could try doing something similar again. Or do you want to go to that?
Yes. We'll go that way. If you can get us back, but
I'll try. I'll do what I can.
I don't think we're supposed to be here.
I can at least get you back, I think. So,
Start running towards the...
Double tetrahedron.
yeah.
Yeah. It's more like a moon job.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Very, yeah. You got
Very
it.
$10 million man slow-mo style.
Ding, 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 ding. Cool. So, you do that. You're going to be doing that for a bit. This thing is very big, and it's a little farther away than you thought, because it's just absolutely titanic. It is about the same size as the Aetherveld macrolith, and that thing is huge.
While running, can I try to think about any... I mean, I have some ideas, but just trying to think about how to get back. Is there some sort of Arcana check I could maybe do?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Why don't you go ahead and roll an Arcana check?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. 14?
14.
I'm
I
rolling
think
crappy.
the information that you get is like you're no longer in between is not really the right answer for, but where do you usually go when you get pulled, yanked, or pop out of it because of your event horizon thing?
Yeah.
That's not where you are. You feel like you're back in a material space.
Okay.
You're not in another plane. You're back in a material space, just not where you were before.
Oh. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting I can do this. And I just grab you and fly much faster than...
Like, sorry.
I was about to ask about that.
Strange
There's no air
thoughts.
resistance, so it should be able to go fly further.
Exactly.
Don't push it.
If we both,
Much faster,
It's
too.
magic. It's not physics.
If we both use
Well,
I don't know. She tends
Teleportation
physics. She
spell?
argues with physics.
and tried to use some of the catalyst to like supercharge it, do you think we could get back?
I think I can try... Yeah, I
Zemnak,
think we
please
can
roll
try
insight
it.
check, please, real quick. Please. Actually, you get to choose insight or intelligence. Both things, either one will give you vastly different types of information.
I wonder which one he's going to use.
Just like a straight intelligence.
Straight
check?
intelligence or insight.
I mean, it's got to be intelligence because yes.
Because it's not very wise. Genius move.
Nice.
So 23
23.
intelligence.
So, you that part of your brain will be like, oh, I gotta know now. Gotta know. I gotta figure out what happens here now. Like, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but there's definitely that part of your brain that's like a new thing that I haven't tried yet. Now's my chance. There is also this part of the
it's an
intelligence that you remember what happened with the catalyst dust and terrazine when I opened up those tiny little portals. There is, however, there is the little voice in the back of your head that thinks, what happens to something? What if we can't keep the portal? What if we can't do the thing open long enough? What happens if it closes if we're only halfway through? What would happen to Sheni? What would happen to me? What would happen to both of us?
Yep.
There is, so you get both of the things. I really fucking want to do this. Maybe, I don't know. That's up to you. Like, this would be really cool because it's like tech and it's new discovery and it's new things and it's new experimentation. So that's Zemdek's really into that shit. And there's also vastly, incredibly horrible things could go wrong. Extremely high risk and high reward.
How many times have I said fuck it though?
Yeah. I mean, that's what you get with that intelligence thing. He's like, you just become aware of the absolutely monumental risk that this could be. But it also could work.
Yeah.
I mean, I asked before I did it.
Yeah,
so-
it's like taking risks in
Personal
space. I
growth.
mean, space is fucking dangerous. Like, it's not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
every little. If you do one thing wrong, that's it. You're done. Like if you are off by a centimeter when you're docking space stations, like gone. Both of them can crash into each other, and that's it. Everybody dies. Like it's that type of. There's no margin for error here.
Or do we just see what's over there first?
We could try that. I can at least always get us into the Sky Lounge for a little bit. Worst case scenario, we could do some experiments otherwise, somewhat from the safety of there, if needed. We have to figure out a way back. But I am curious about that. It is.
Just because of the way the spell works, you have to send a message to him before he can respond. But I don't want to get deep in that bullshit.
Again, I could see.
So I'm
yeah.
not. I'm just letting you guys know that I'm not going to hold you to that too much, unless I feel like it's necessary. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you keep heading that way.
Yeah.
What are both of your passive perceptions?
Not great. 12.
14.
Okay, good to know. We're going to go now to Cole. You're alive. You're stunned. You are alive. I mean, you're okay. You came back to life because someone gave you hit points. Eleazar sees that you're stunned, putting you down, and is like, okay, picks you back up and keeps walking, goes through the door, I assume. Probably what he wants to do. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for me. Log, what would you like to do? Continue going down the right path?
I'm just trying to put as much space between me and
Okay.
whatever the fuck is going on as
Yeah.
possible.
It's only a 10.
It's only 10. Okay. Look at you already rolling dice.
I know it's coming.
Can Eleazar and Cole please roll con saves for me?
I don't need to roll disadvantage on that one.
You get a +2.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm
21.
21, that's a success.
drew 20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20, that's a success.
All right, so
half.
10 points total, 5 points each.
Does that fully that knocks you out?
I'm unconscious again.
Oh no. Okay, so Eleazar like
And
clinks once,
definitely doesn't
and then
have
like
more
turns
than
around like, oh no, and you just see like this sonic boom happen, and Cole just goes oh, and falls down, and Eleazar catches him and is like, no.
I mean, I already had him.
Yeah, you can
shouldered.
keep moving. I'm not gonna get you hit you twice in the same movement, so you can grab him and keep moving.
Yeah.
You'll make it to the around the door. You see Log has gone down the right side. Do you want to follow him or do you want to go the other way?
I'll follow along.
Okay, you follow Log. He's a good like 15 feet ahead of you, if not more. Cool, Log. You want to keep going, or do you?
I do not.
Anything unlike? Yeah, you also have actions, bonus actions, both of you, if you want to do anything.
No, yeah, I'm at 2 fucking hit points. I'm just... And 4 points of exhaustion. I'm just...
This is all I can do. Is this one thing? I can just
I'm
move in this
moving
one line.
away. That's all I can focus on.
It's like
right
me
now.
with heat stroke when we were hiking in the desert. Oh my god.
You know that
I had a
shot from the
mantra.
video where like somebody's like dying and like walking
Yeah.
down the wall
Right.
hallway like leaning on the wall. That's
very-
totally
Yeah.
like Log right now.
Yeah, your vision is caving in at the periphery. Yeah.
The carpet
Can't
is made
feel
of
your
like
legs.
pans and stuff that make tons of noise if you step on
The,
them.
the only thing that's actually keeping him like vertical right now is the wall he's leaning against.
As you like rub it every once in a while, like you touch a painting and then you're like, don't touch it, move your hand because if I make a noise, I'm dead.
He does have a
great.
potion of healing.
Are you trying to be quiet?
Yeah, well, because I was
Yeah. sure.
told to be quiet.
So go ahead and roll a stealth check for me. Are you using your action for anything or bonus action for like potions, healing,
Yes.
stuff like that?
He has a potion of healing in his inventory, so I'm going to
Eleazar?
slam that in.
Wait,
You're not
close
together.
enough?
You're not together.
Yeah.
You're still
Log.
He's
Cole.
talking about me.
Cole.
Okay.
I saw him
Oh.
go back out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can do that.
I
You
still
can
have an
use
action,
Eleazar's
yes.
action to do so. Yeah,
Slam
absolutely.
the health potion. Is
Okay, go ahead, roll it.
Stop doing that.
Stop passing out.
You just stop passing out with your eyes. You're like,
Yes. That was 5 plus 2 is 7.
Hey, I have more health this time.
hey,
Yeah.
I just need to not fail if something gets out
14
again.
stealth check.
you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, so I'll do action and dash and
You just see a very disappointed dragon face as you wake back up. Just
Staring. And Cole just proceeds to stare blankly at you because he is still stunned.
The visual is really great. He's like, and just like.
At least you can't see me.
You've got 5 points of health in you, though, right?
He can't even like move his eyes to look at his eyes.
According to him,
He's just
No, 'cause when you
1,000-yard
killed
stare,
the last
blank.
Yeah.
Stun condition.
Right, but that I don't think we asked.
Oh no, I asked.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, you're around the corner now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, you may roll a wisdom saving
Okay.
throw.
Let's try this die. This die hasn't fucked me over yet today. Did now.
Oh,
11.
Damn. Not enough.
You see it in Alistair's eyes.
But you
see
do
it.
now, as long as you remain in, like, you know. where
I
you
can- I
are.
can- I
As long
can
as you don't
keep
go
making-
backwards, you can keep rolling it every turn.
Well, I hope Eleazar doesn't go backwards.
Yeah. Easier go backwards.
Or I don't know,
Oh,
this
shit,
creature.
I forgot my sword. I'll go back.
You left me in the room.
I left my phone in my fairy box.
No. I'm saying you can go back for me.
Okay, so that's all y'all.
You're a puddle of goo.
Besides me.
I'm not saving a puddle of goo.
Back in the soul realm with the puddle of goo.
I have lungs.
The door has been shut, Argus. You are alone in this. As soon as the door shuts, as you kind of step through this non-threshold threshold, the entire area around you changes drastically. You are in a black, vast nothingness. You are in a spot where there is still light upon you and light upon other things, but there's nothing here, and there's no source of light. You step into perhaps a centimeter or two of what feels like water on a black obsidian plate, just as if it would just extend into all directions of just blackness, vast, like Vanta blackness. And there's just a little bit of wetness that you kind of step into. You also notice that you're no longer floating, and you're no longer ethereal. You see there are parts around you, like small geysers now. It was completely flat, no ripples, no nothing, as far as you could see in every direction. The sky is Vanta black. The ground is Vanta black, except for the shine of the water off of a light source that you can't see. Around you start to appear several what seems like bubbling springs or geysers from this water. And it starts to, and then it starts to bubble up more and more and more. And you see that it's not like water now, because it's more like oil, like black oil. And as it does bubble up higher to create these kind of like pillars, before they eventually stop. And there's about like 6 or 7 of them before the oil kind of falls off from the pillar. And what is still standing there are not totems, but like odd knickknacks, but in large shapes. Like, for example, like it's if a rubber ducky was like this big, that type of thing. But it's not. There's not a rubber ducky there. It's more like there is a kind of like an old style syringe, like an old, like something that Zemdek would carry around. There is a flute that is extremely tall. There is what looks like not an item or a memento, but what feels like an action kind of being represented in that movement, as this oil kind of goes up, spirals around the action, and then moves back down the action, and it kind of like almost like a movie reel, like, and you kind of see a bunch of frames, and as the thing coils up and down repeatedly back and forth, it reveals all those frames, and it just kind of keeps replaying this kind of action over and over and over and over again. And it's just like this kind of action that, from what you can tell, looks like just 2 hands grasping and then coming back together, and then grasping again, and then coming back apart, and then grasping again. It just keeps going back and forth.
Zoetrope?
What?
Zoetrope?
I'm not familiar.
Like the
It's a
No, now I want to know.
It's a. You used to be able to. They would spin, and you would put a light inside of them, and they would
Kind
project
of
a moving picture
yeah,
kind
but
of thing.
imagine it rather than like horizontally, it's more like vertically upon like a pillar, that type of thing. Does that make sense? But yeah, it's very similar to that. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, like when you saw someone running and jumping and everything, it was like the first version of.
Yeah,
cinematography.
it's basically was the first version of a movie. Kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah. It's
Spins
kind of
fast enough that it looks like motion.
yeah, it does that, and it's just like this going back and forth like this, but it's just vertical rather than horizontal. And you don't see like an item that's creating it. You just see the image of it being created in like spots of this weird oil. It's like the oil is like the screen for it, and it's being projected onto it, and the oil kind of like moving and allowing it to happen. So you see that. There's a couple other things here, not entirely worth noting as to what they are, but you're kind of surrounded by items and actions and weird things as you're here. You also hear something. You hear a voice. You hear a voice like, "We're going to try something new today. Just hold still. I'll be right there. Good job." "No, not right now. I'm very busy." "Of course. Whatever you need." "I thought I told you to stay away from there. Those aren't healthy. It's time for your session. Sit down, lay down, open your eyes." "I know this is difficult, but you have to trust me. I'm the only one you can." And it's not that on repeat, but there's a lot of things like that keep saying over and over and over again. Nothing repeats. There's always something new. And it just sounds omnipresent. It doesn't echo, but it feels like it does. Like here.
I'm going to grab my holy symbol, my flame symbol. I'm going to say, "I'm here to remove your power. He is no longer here to worship you. And I'm going to use my channel divinity of no kings and no gods."
No gods, no kings. Oh fuck. Okay, so here's the deal. This is a fight. It's not like just one and done. This is a fight.
Yeah.
So you invoke it, and rather than it just being like a flash and it's done, this is more of like a Kamehameha wave that's like moving back and forth. Okay.
His old channel divinity, his radiance burst.
Yeah.
It's just
It's kind of like that, where you're like trying to kind of Din's Fire Zelda
Cleanse it.
style, trying to do that, but you feel the pressure of something else pushing down on you, and that pressure is, you don't know anything. I saved you from everything. You'll listen when I tell you to do things. Stop bothering me. This isn't your place, it's mine. I want to make it your place, but you must listen. And you just see it just keeps getting more like badgering and overbearing.
Not your
And
place.
there's
You
more.
have no power here.
You have no idea what I have to deal with on a daily basis. You have no idea the depths of power that I have to do. The things that I have seen. You are here. I keep you here because I keep you safe. You need me. Without me, you are nothing. Without me, you will be back to what you were before.
I want him back where he was before. That was his brain, his life, his being. You have no power here.
You're getting like the more sense like this voice isn't talking to you.
Yeah.
It's like almost vignettes of what Meckel has heard talk to him.
And I'm trying to
Be
be
a
Meckel's
conscience,
advocate
like- yeah.
to fight back
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
this voice.
And so the voice gets even more badgering, being like, "Sit down, lay down.
You have no power.
I'm in charge.
You have no power here.
I am
You have
power."
no power here.
It's
Power
getting
is from in time.
angrier and angrier and angrier. And then you start to hear there's a pause, a silence. "You don't belong."
Neither do you.
And it's addressing you.
Neither do you.
"I made this. This is mine."
This is not yours. This is his entity. This is his soul, his body, his being. You don't belong here. You don't belong here.
It starts to like breathe heavily and just. You child, you fool! I made this. This is mine. His being is mine. I made everything that he is. What are you? A self-made man. You dare to call me upon you on equal standing like me? I have proof of what I have made. I have made myself. You are nothing.
You don't know me.
I know what I need to know.
I am primordial, primeval.
You claim to know of these old elements, these old gods.
They are not gods, they are power.
You cling to it. You don't know what real power is. Real power is change. Real power is new. Real power evolves.
Power can change. It is not created.
Oh, it can. Witness. And you feel
But
like
you
this,
don't belong here.
you're pushing back. And so you now feel, rather than it being like radiative and it being equal on all distances, you feel more pressure on one part as it's now like trying to adapt and pierce your thing. So some of your like pushing out gives way and is allowed to push further in one direction. But because of that is being weakened in another direction, and it like your sphere or whatever that you're trying to push out from you becomes more amoebic as it's probing for weaknesses in there, and it's hitting you from a bunch of different directions, and kind of like Rock Lee in Naruto when he was fighting Gaara in his perfect sand defense. If anybody watched Naruto, nobody here watches Naruto.
I watched Naruto, but
Okay.
I mean,
But whereas like he just does real quick one spot and then real quick another spot to try to probe the defenses, and does break through every once in a while, but because it can't be seen because it's so fast and it's so pierced and so much pressure on a single point, you can feel like you're winning overall, but all it takes is for one of these to get to you, and that's it.
It's the
Done.
equivalent of like a battle where they're putting equal pressure on each side, and then periodically you're getting like
it's a war of attrition.
Black Ops coming in through different areas to like.
So of a war of attrition, but all it takes for you to lose is to one soldier get to you. Kind of like, so you have to keep yourself very protected. So you're like constantly doing this.
Can I
and making
sudden
sure-
doubt any of them?
Yes, you can. You absolutely can. You kind of like, without looking, kind of like see behind you, and you flash, and that one like kind of like recoils and pulls back, and there, you see as it kind of snaps back and hits what could be the edge of this space. There's almost as if it was breaking through a paper door, like a Japanese paper door, as if you threw a pebble through a Japanese paper door and the sunlight flashes through, where this thing whiplashed back. And now there's like a source of light in here. And where that is, you don't see or don't feel, because you don't really see anything, that presence get anywhere near that like spot of light. Do you have more sudden doubts?
I have 5.
So this is wild. I think you do a couple more and those types of things, and it's making you pretty much now, because there's more light here, there's these witty barbs and these passive aggressive sayings of like, without me everything is nothing, without intellect, without without change, without learning from
There's change without you.
I am change. I have been. You test my patience, and my patience is not and you just feel you damaging whatever this is, this psyche. You have a moment. There's a break. It's breathing heavily.
Can I use my last channel divinity and push it harder out?
You can. You also know this. Because of this battle, you could very well irreversibly change the landscape of 1, Meckel's psyche, and 2, Meckel's existence. 3, you don't know what that's going to do to you. And I'll say I'll give you a little bit more. 4, you don't know if this is just Meckel's psyche like caving in on itself and just his own like inner monologue that has that voice always there, or if something is actively talking to you from another place. Those are the things you know that you're trying to understand, that you know of before you would, if you want to do this. Those are the things that you know. You can still go through with it. Those are just things.
I'm going to go through with it.
Okay, yeah, you do it. Cool. So this is going to be a contest then, because this is one last push. That was amazing. I love that. So we're gonna do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was about to say, do you want him to like change you or no?
I don't think he's not
Yeah,
there.
I know.
He's in the hallway. He closed the fucking door.
Yeah.
He told me to do this.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Meckel's like,
Yeah.
Meckel told him to burn it all away.
Meckel's
He
soul told me to get
pretty
rid of
much
it
he left you in a place to do your own judgment and turned the other cheek and walked away.
He literally said, I didn't ask you how big the room was. I said,
He was
cast
like, whatever
fireball."
happens,
yeah,
happens.
it was like,
It's like those people that are like, hey,
leave
I, don't-
only me, I think is the only
Oops.
Yep.
instructions I gave
I
you.
dropped this weapon. Oops, that person is handcuffed. I have to go to the bathroom, and whatever happens, happens.
I wouldn't exactly explain it like that, but sure.
We're breaking it down to the simplest
I
thing,
think
because-
Argus probably views it more that way than you
yeah,
do.
yeah. No, that's fine.
So okay, so we're gonna do a contest here, and we absolutely got to do it in this thing because here's the deal: failure for this is not just a failure for him; it's also a failure for you, and you don't know what that means. Success for this could also be very far-reaching. There are degrees of success in this, and there are degrees of failure. Depending on how bad you fail, a lot of things can happen. Depending on how well you succeed, a lot of things can happen. This is not an easy thing to do. There will be. This is absolutely something you could use inspiration on if you want to. This is a big thing. So
I think
No
TJ's
pressure.
trying to get you to like burn all your world
what?
inspiration.
Yeah, he's like, I
Well,
want
I
to use
can't-
all
I
Whole
keep
session
them
is
for a
about
reason.
burning our
Yeah.
world inspirations.
They're kept for a reason.
just gonna stop giving them out entirely.
No.
And I'm okay if Meckel dies, but I would be better if he comes back at like 9th or 10th level.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that means
So-
you're stronger than we are.
Yeah, I know. That's the point.
This
Yeah.
is you're
I don't
going
want
to be
that.
using your
I've been
wisdom
inside
here,
Meckel's mind.
Okay.
So no.
and this individual is going to be using or you don't know what's happening over here.
Right.
So you're just going to do. This is just your straight raw willpower, which is
Okay.
represented by your wisdom. So there's nothing you add to this. You don't. You're proficient to this. It's just you have +5 to wisdom, right?
Correct.
So it's just D20 +5. You tell me what you get, and it's contested. Why are you looking at me like that?
I got you that to be a good dice.
I know.
Do you want to know what it is, or do you want to decide to use the thing first? I mean, this will be one of the instances where I'll tell you what you need to if you want to use it afterward. I don't have a
Okay.
you have to beat a 17.
I think he's using one.
I think so.
Okay. 20.
20. So you burned 3 today out of your 4?
Two.
2? Not bad. I feel good. So-
I'd like to say I facilitated that.
We are burning world inspirations
It's
for
only
you, man.
apparently
I know.
when I'm in
So
ethereal
as
form.
you push out this, there will be no gods and no kings in this place while I live. And you push out your will, your pure will in this space. You feel the influence of whatever this else, everything else that doesn't belong, everything that is not, I don't want to say pure because that's weird.
Anything that's not
Anything
Meckel.
that
That's
Meckel
not-
decided to leave in that room, you push away, incinerate, no longer allow it to exist. And you feel its power waning, it's panicking. What do you say? What do you do?
This is Meckel's space. His power resides here. I am his advocate. You do not belong here.
You don't get to. And there's just this massive flash. We'll get back to that in a moment. Trisheni and Zemdak.
Bouncing along.
Bouncing
Actually,
along.
actually flying.
She's
Yeah,
flying.
Yeah, you're
Flying.
flying. That's right. You
Let's
were
hope
bouncing.
you guys live too.
Bounced for a second and then
We were bouncing, and then she's like, "Oh wait, I'm flying."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long do you have that for?
10 minutes because
10
it's,
minutes. Oh yeah, no, you're good. Yeah,
Yeah.
you cold.
yeah.
You're fine.
It's been
It's only been a
it's
couple.
been 2 sessions, but it's been like the equivalent of like 5 minutes in
You've got like
actual
astronaut
time.
jetpack. You're just
Yeah.
going. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got
It's
it.
okay. You'll burn up before she's done with that.
Okay, so here's the deal. At first glance, you don't see a way to. You could
Enter.
get on this thing, but you don't see a way to like get inside this thing if that's your intention. Are you looking for something like that?
The closer we get, is there anything with it?
Not
Like
really.
outbuildings? Like
If you're like trying to go a little, give it a little altitude to get a better view of it.
I just mean
would
like as we get closer, does anything else sort of?
if you
like-
get closer, it's so big that it starts to block
Right.
out more of your periphery. So
are there outbuildings? Are there
Yeah.
like little
no,
bunkers?
it's just this thing.
Just this.
I would say it's just this thing. If you wanted to like go a little higher to try to see if there's stuff around it, you can. But
Okay.
you also risk the fact of you don't know where you are, and you don't know how far you can travel from the ground before other forces start to take hold of you.
Yeah, no, just
So
little 5 foot, like just gliding.
yeah, I mean, you got a lot more wiggle room than that. You've got a couple 100 feet. Don't worry about it.
I'm saying above the ground,
Yeah,
flying.
I know.
Not,
I'm saying, if you do that, it's sure you can do that. It's
just-
just you're gonna kick up some stuff, but you'll be okay. You're not. You don't really have a good look at this thing now because you're so low to the ground. But what my point was is that at first glance you don't see a way inside of whatever this mega structure is, if that was your intention.
There's no way inside.
Granted, you're still getting closer and closer and closer to it. You do see if you wanted to, like, go up on one of the parts that actually forms a little bit more of a slant, obviously, because not the overhang, the underhang, but like on that part, you could like land on top of it and stand there. But
Are you seeing anything?
In
I can't-
Thulmorbed, the Aetherveld, that doesn't have obvious entrances either.
as far as you know, people teleport in and teleport out of that,
Okay.
and they do so through like Terrazine Magitech and everything like that. There are you are also you're an
There aren't,
artificer.
Like causeways.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you are an artificer. You also know that like people aren't stupid, especially in a place where powerful people are kept. There's always an alternative way out or way in that is kept probably under wraps quite a bit, and it's probably a little bit more conventional or more magical or something else. So whether that was actually part of its original construction or not, that's not for you to say.
Are you seeing anything? I can't see anything.
I don't either. The teleportation option may be what we need to do.
Do you
If
want to
you-
get back in? Do you want to get in there with teleportation? Or
If
do
you
you
guys
want
want
to
to
go
get
home?
closer and like investigate further to see if you can find something, you can. I just didn't know how close you wanted to get to this thing, or if you wanted to actually alight upon it or something.
I was more thinking it was shelter to buy us a minute to figure out what
To
we're
like
gonna
just
do.
be under the overhang.
To be
No,
out
to
of
get
the
in.
vacuum
No,
of space.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
No, more inside of it.
So then tell me, are you trying to look for a way in or look
Yes.
for something
Yeah.
strange? Okay, so you guys can roll perception checks for me at the moment, because investigation is going to require you to
Be up against it.
Yeah.
Nope,
What's up?
that's
I'm just time.
Stemming. Okay.
No, it's more of a red blinking light. Get yourself. You guys are gonna die
Oh
soon.
yeah. No, you're yeah. You've
Oh,
got
no,
a
I'm
couple
just-
minutes, so you guys are
Okay.
okay. But you do, you're still on the clock. Yeah.
16.
15.
What's your con value?
My con is +2.
+5.
How?
Your con is +5.
Artificers are proficient in con. Oh no, so not saving
Not your
throw.
saving throw.
+2.
Okay.
I was like, what?
I was like, I'm sorry, you have a 20 in con, a 20 of intelligence, and an
I
18
was
in
looking at my saving
dexterity.
throw. Sorry.
I'm gonna throw you into a volcano. Of like, okay.
I thought that's what you were gonna have to do with Eleazar.
So,
long
yeah,
is
you
it?
guys have like 3 minutes. You've got I don't think you guys have even used up a minute yet. So you guys
Okay.
are okay. You guys get a little closer, and you try to look for something. What'd you get?
16.
16.
15, you said. I think.
20.
Oh.
Can you flash con save?
Because he flashes it.
Because I really want to
Not
get...
a con save. This is a perception check.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ability checks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just keep track of how many you've used.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
I'm taking them off.
It's basically intelligent-based instant inspiration is what Flash of Genius is.
I'll say
My stuff.
one of the things that you notice, Trisheni, is you do see something. Now that you're closer to it, its silhouette is more cast against the sky than it was before. Meaning, like the more of its shape is in your vision, so that the blackness of space or the sky takes up more of the background, which gives it to be a more stark contrast between it. And because of that, you see kind of off the edge of the periphery, you see something that looks like smoke. You're not sure what it looks like, and you couldn't see it before because that part was the backdrop behind it was the more gray or other weird, like multi-weird coloring of the surface of whatever this, ground that you are upon. But now that it has more of a black backdrop, you can see like what looks like a little bit of smoke and everything. You instinctually, just let me do this for a moment, probably go around just to see what that is. It's not very far. It's like, you just have to get around one of the corners to get a better look at it. And Zemdak, while you're looking at it, Trisheni, you still just see the same thing. You're not sure. You look at it and you're like, I know what that is. That is either something venting or something escaping that's not supposed to escape. That's atmosphere. That's coming out of the inside of this thing. That means there's a hole in this thing and there's air in there. And you also notice, like, as you get closer, you start to get closer and you see, like, there is like a pipe, or it's not really looking like a pipe. It's more of like a girder. Rather than it being circular, it's more like rectangular that has this, that's kind of stuck out. It looks like quite a bit of damage has been done to it, but it doesn't look that damaged. It's interesting. Like something very, very heavy impact hit this thing, or it hit something at very, very heavy impact, causing this to do. But this material looks extremely sturdy, and this kind of girder that is hollow, so it acts like a pipe, is kind of sticking out and venting this type of atmosphere. You also notice that at the closer this thing is a lot bigger than you thought it was, because you start to move, and you think you're going to get to it, and you're still not there. And you start to go, and it's really fucking big, because you've been pretty far from the Aetherworld macrolith. You've never been up against it, and you know how big those adamantine chains that hold it up are. They're truly huge. Yep. So this thing is absolutely gargantuan. This thing is like the size of a city. It is huge. It's like it could be the size of the financial district in Manhattan. It is absolutely massive, or bigger. I try not to give too many scales to things because I don't want to catch myself in a lie, but it is really, really, really big. This girder, you realize, is actually large enough, hollow, for you to get into. Like, you could go into this thing. You could walk into this thing. You could fly into this thing. I mean, Eliezer might have a little bit more of a trouble of a time, but this thing is like...
But it's just us.
But good news, he's not here.
there.
He's not here.
He's not here.
The two of us are a little bit more...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're tiny and you're extremely lithe, and this is, you feel like you could have room. It's like kind of flying through the Death Star.
Third movie when they're going like through and in and everything.
Yeah, sure, yeah, something like that.
The original third movie.
Yes,
not the
where the Millennium Falcon
prequel,
loses its satellite. Yes,
not the prequel, the crappy prequel.
It's
You
radar.
said this thing looks like it's made out of terrazine, though.
No, I said that this looks like the Aetherworld macrolith.
You mentioned that the
sort of
Agerveld had green. This one has blue.
Yes, I would say like the color of the terrazine that you're used to of being green is what the Aetherworld macrolith kind of has on constant, not glowing and glittering, but just has constant around some of the weird runes that nobody really knows the language of.
You had said
whereas this one, yes,
Yeah.
has a blue thing, but it's like...
But just around the runes, not the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, as you get closer, you see that the runes or whatever, etchings, symbols, are everywhere. They were just there were bigger ones on like the edges, like on the edges of each side of the figure, and so those were much easier to see, and those ones were glowing. And you see like there, even if they're like only this big, are everywhere. All over this thing is covered with that, and sometimes their actual form covers whatever is going on underneath the hull or whatever.
Okay.
But you do see this, and as you get closer, this small little thing of smoke is much bigger. It's this like geyser of atmosphere that's leaking from this thing, meaning that if you were to go through it, you would be going against a very strong air current, and you also don't know what the air this is.
Could be steam.
You are close enough to it to be able to see and get all that scale. I don't want to take the agency away from you and say that you are close enough to be touching any of this
All
stuff.
right. Do you want to go in there, or I mean?
Better than dying out here.
Yeah, I'm going to
Don't
rip.
fly us all the way in. Stop just before we touch it.
All right, I'm also going to rip out this page in the backup spell book so I can hopefully understand some of these things that's on here. Rip out the scroll for
Comprehend languages.
yes.
Because you're out of spell slots.
No,
right? Or
because I didn't.
you didn't
It's a
prepare
ritual.
it today.
Well, because it's a ritual spell.
You don't have to. Wizards don't have to prepare ritual spells in order to ritually cast them. But you need
I
10
know, but
minutes
I
to
want it
cast
now.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I want it now.
I didn't pick up what you were putting.
Thank you.
Yes,
I
you
want it now.
I want it now.
Not
Okay,
10 minutes
cool.
from now when my
When your-
internals
when
might
your
be
body
boiling.
dies.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
After the bubble's gone and the blood's boiling
here's the
out.
deal.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. You get closer. You can get up to where it is. You feel, because you felt incredible cold and incredible heat all at the same time, you feel warmth from this, like climate control. If you stick around where this thing is, you could eke out maybe a couple more minutes of survival because it's giving you warmth. You don't know. So that's up to you. You can rip out that page if you'd like.
I'm gonna take a piece of jerky and throw it against the surface.
Against the surface or into the girder?
Against the
hollow girder?
surface of the
Okay.
object.
Can
Does
I
it hit the
make?
surface?
Yeah, it's the surface.
Can I mage hand it onto the?
No.
You grab it out of the air and then
No. Yeah.
touch it again.
I just want to make sure it didn't turn into Terazine.
I thought you were going for the giant mimic.
I knew
No, no, no.
exactly what you were doing.
I thought you were trying to cook it.
We've seen blue Terazine.
Yeah, me
now,
too.
Yeah, I
thought we
was
were trying
like-
to warm it up.
And blue Terazine only affects organic material. So I threw something meat at it to see if it turned to
Doesn't
crystal.
look like looking at this doesn't look like it's made of. Well, you don't know what it's made of.
Right. You said the runes were sort of carved all in it. So I was trying to like
Sure. Yeah. It just hits the thing and I mean, law of equal, energy, motion, that whole deal. It's just
First,
Speaking of,
Okay.
first law.
Yeah.
Newton's first law.
do the runes say anything?
They do not. What you get from them is what looks like it's like reading binary in like computer language. So you understand that it is like code, but without like the key of like you understand what it says. Like you get that it is code. You otherwise you would just think they were symbols and etching. You understand that it is some sort of like computer or tech or like computer's a very more pinpoint term. I want it to be a little bit more broad than that. So take the broad sense of what an actual definition of a computer is. Something that like actually does a computation or a...
Kind of like the original mechanical machine that's listed as the first computer.
Right, like your brain is a computer. This is some sort of language that tells things to do stuff or is part of like etching like code into types of things. So you get the concept of what it is, but without knowing the coding language, like without knowing the what these
Cipher.
things stand for, it doesn't really mean a whole lot to you. You have it's like being able to read the letters of something without understanding what the words mean. Does that make sense?
It's called assembly language.
Assembly language. Thank you. I don't know anything about that.
It's what the actual chip itself
Yeah.
uses.
Yeah.
Without knowing
Sounds
how
right.
to translate like the programming language to the assembly language.
Yep. But what
It's
you do
just
get from that
bits.
is that this appears to be either some form of tech or some form of magitech. It also is really big and You also probably, as you're doing this, get the sense that there are probably a lot of other people that did the same thing that you fucking did, that are very powerful, that did this to the Aetherworld macrolith and still couldn't
don't
figure it out.
understand, yeah.
So, because that's not a very high level spell, they did the exact same thing and they were like, well.
But they don't have the
fuck.
book of infinite knowledge that I now possess with me.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Do you want to start pulling out the Book of Infinite Knowledge and starting taking notes and try going flipping through the pages and translating each and every
No,
one
but
little, okay.
but what I can do is take notes of what I understand right now.
You can, if you want to do some charcoal etchings, you can. Yeah.
Not charcoal etchings. Just I can write down quickly, right? Like
Absolutely.
the numbers
Yeah,
and something.
Yeah.
Like
Everything I'm
not-
telling you, yeah, you can easily write down.
I
Absolutely, of
think
course.
we're fairly safe to try and get in there.
Okay, give me 10 more seconds, and it lasts for another.
Yeah,
10
you
minutes,
can.
so-
Yeah, you can take.
Party's gonna die. all
Yeah, you have 10
separated
minutes
across
with
the
this thing,
realms.
so you'll be good
Those
for.
will come back.
I'll let you know. You just remind me if you feel like it's like I'm not sure,
Yeah.
and I'll let you know if it ever drops. But I think you guys should be okay for a while.
Okay, got
So,
that. Let's
Your
go.
your fly is going to drop before your comprehend
Yeah.
languages. By the way, are they both concentration?
No. Comprehend languages is not.
Nice, nice, nice.
It's a
Well
ritual,
thought
and then
about
it just
that.
lasts for
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes.
No, well thought about that. I know
Yes,
she
I
did.
did.
She was like-
Actually, it's an hour that lasts.
Yeah,
right?
Ah, wait, I can
lasts
see.
for It lasts for a whole hour too.
Oh yeah, comprehend languages last for an hour. Yeah, so
So,
flies, you're about
10
halfway
minutes.
through
Yeah, that's okay.
it. You're fine. Okay,
All right, let's go in.
okay. You
Close the notebook.
go in. You are against a very strong, like, pressure current. It's at the very least difficult terrain. I will say I want you to both roll strength saving throws to see if this very, very strong ventilation air current doesn't just you out into space.
Okay,
8.
18.
He's holding on to her. So
Yeah.
He is holding on to her. You do let go because you're like, whoa!
Can
as
I
you
try
get
to-
blown out. You can dexterity save and throw if you want to
Yeah.
try to grab him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or dexterity check, either one, whichever you think is better.
It's the same.
Did she drop you?
No.
9.
You barrel forward and you feel lighter for a moment, and then you look behind you and it's like, trash.
And I just zoom right back.
Yeah,
with
you
the current
absolutely can
and-
zoom right back. It's
Yeah.
it does cost you like time and energy, and like your stuff starts to tick down more and more and more.
Yeah.
There's only so many times you can do that before you're gonna not have the grace period.
Before
something.
you're gonna fly out.
I will say like you do get like quite high
Elias
up
Artis.
into the
I still have
into like the sky or the atmosphere of this area because there's no really atmosphere.
But those are real shit.
Higher than the Aetherworld Mac, or higher than whatever this thing that looks like the Aetherworld Macrolith, the tip of it, higher than the tip of it is. So from the ground, which is a couple hundred feet at the very least.
Okay.
At
Next-
the very like maybe 1,000 or more. Like it is huge.
Next time, can we tie like a tether between us and then?
Yeah, you don't have to ask me. You have to ask him.
Fit around the tip. Yes.
Shut up! Stop it.
Pull
You
some
set it
rope out,
up. That's what I've been laughing.
Yeah.
You're not there.
Yeah.
Tether our belts together.
Yes.
So in case one of us blows away, the other one is
Gets
still-
pulled along with you.
Exactly. Also, I do
You
have.
just act like a kite.
Do you still have your crowbar? We can maybe like use and pry into the side a little bit, one after another.
I have
Cool.
climbing
Oh, you still have that on the. Oh,
Pitons.
excellent.
pitons as well.
Pitons.
Spikes that we can.
I just
I
love.
thought we all had a gilded silver crowbar.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
I think
think
we
we
do. Yeah,
Ma-
we all got
Mac was over
crowbars,
there.
so we
Oh.
made 'em. I just
I'm
love.
trying to save your soul first.
Yeah. Yo, chill. You'll get yours.
Okay,
There's
I get a
initiation
crowbar, right?
rites that's got to happen first.
Perfect. Okay. So
You have to almost die with us.
You
at
guys
least
probably
twice.
try this a couple times and
Yeah.
you get like
They're
blown
pretty
out.
predictable.
We'll come back to you. There's inevitably you guys will manage to get through. I think you know what? Let's just do it this way. It gets pretty close. It's a pretty close call of being whether like you're like I'm starting to get really tired and my body's starting to fall apart and I don't really like this, and you're like this may be like the last or the second to last one we can try, and you do able like to get past most of like the initial pressure and everything to the point where you can find a spot that there's something to hold on to or something to make an anchor into a good maybe like 30 or 40 feet into the hollow girder. And that's where you guys are, and you like take a break and you take a moment. You also feel like wind like blowing past you, very like get your ass to Mars, like Total Recalls type of feel, where it's just like where like all of the ventilation in the Mars area is doing that. So you don't know what the atmosphere is made out of, but it is much warmer here, and there is atmosphere. And we'll get back to you in a minute. You guys.
Hold on, let me get the damage page.
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll your wisdom.
We're around
Saving
the
throw.
corner.
You're around the corner, yeah.
Yeah.
17.
That's a success. That's exactly what you needed, so you're no longer stunned. Eleazar sees you like move and like blink and come to thing, and I think he just like immediately grabs your mouth and just shakes his head.
No doggy.
Okay, he removes his hand. He also knows who you are and what you do, so. Are you guys all moving down the hallway then? Because if that's all you guys are doing,
was
we don't
kinda
have to
my
do
plan.
too much of this anymore. What's up?
To move, yeah.
Yeah.
I would actually probably go back towards the door.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Do you want to go back towards the door?
You know, right before I got stunned
It's
like
fine.
this, I
I'm
shared
just
a
trying to
very
think if
profound
Eleazar would-
moment with Meckel, and then all this shit
I don't
happened.
think Eleazar is going to try to stop you because that's not the type of person he is.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, he's more like,
I just saved your life. You want to kill yourself.
yeah, like.
Oh, you're not going to go in with him?
Nope. I'm following
He
along.
Eleazar also has
Well,
to take care of
did we
somebody
turn
who's
the right way?
extremely close to death at the moment too.
Yeah.
And Cole is not as much so. And if Cole wants to endanger himself more, Eleazar is going to try to protect the person that have the less chance of survival.
Trying to catch up with Log.
The type of person he is.
I have ways to communicate without sound too, which none of the rest
Okay,
of you
so
do.
here's the deal.
Well, you do, but
I think for the moment, this is going to be the last stealth check I'm going to require from both of you, just because I don't want to deal with it anymore. And it's like, there are other sounds that will become more prominent if they happen closer to them. Not to say that the range, if there's no other sounds, isn't absolutely astronomical. It's just that it's getting drowned out by closer stuff. Make sense? So
I'm killing rats in the
at
wall
disadvantage,
right now.
and also at disadvantage, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to be silent going back
Yeah.
towards
Are
that way.
you exhausted as well?
Yeah, oh yeah, well, because I'm going back, so I definitely
So
need to be
everybody's
silent.
at disadvantage.
24.
At
Yeah,
disadvantage?
17 and 18.
Damn.
Nice. What's Eleazar's stealth?
Oh, I'm looking at mine. One
Like,
second.
with that
One second.
armor.
I suppose it doesn't matter because you need
it's still
17.
a +1, so it's an 18.
Yeah, I mean, your passive is only like 10 or 11 anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So it's an 18.
13.
13.
Sorry.
14.
18 still.
You guys
No,
both
my
succeed.
passive is a 15.
Your passive is a 15. Right, but you're not in.
Oh, not in this
You're
form.
not
Not
in
this
your
form.
regular
I,
form.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I
not
got
in this form.
dumber.
You're abomination.
You can get dumber. You get less wise.
Oh.
There's a difference. Because you
My
are
brain is
you
on
are
the
a
floor.
piece of flesh.
Your brain's
Yeah.
still there.
Your brain's
Your
melted
brain
with
is
the...
not there. It's just the spine
Just the
and
spinal.
the long.
Well, no,
Staring
no.
at me, my
It's
eyes
there.
are
It's
down
just
here.
melted in the puddle.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah.
I'm sorry. What did everybody make it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody made it. Yeah. So no sonic booms, no sounds. Is there anything else you guys would like to do other than you?
Very
You guys can
unhappy
just be.
cat
I'm just trying to catch up to him.
Unless you guys want, unless
And
yeah, logs again. As long
I'm
as it's
just
like
he thinks he knows
survival.
where he's going.
Like
get
just
somewhere
get
other than
away.
here.
It's like I'm like crawling through the
Wow.
asshole.
Like, just
Like,
Just go until I can't go anymore. Fall asleep, then wake up better.
and then
Yeah.
keep crawling.
And then, yeah. Cool. Cole, is there something you'd like to do?
Cole is going to go back to the door and actually turn and see the puddle and see if he can lock on and try and talk to Meckel that way and go, come back to us. This is not where you need
You're
to be.
immune to the thing, so when you look at it, you're okay.
No. He's not. He made it.
No, he
I
saved
passed
against
my save
He
to
said
get out
the
of
wisdom
it.
to be out of stunned. I mean,
Yeah.
he's immune to
Oh,
the stun,
okay,
the
okay.
stun, the Eldritch Madness stun thing.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Because you're so ugly.
I'll
so,
get you next time.
Get you
Dude.
next time, Gadget.
You broke my Terrazine flute. You've done enough.
Yeah. Okay, so you turn around the corner into the door, and you're trying to make a mental connection with Meckel.
Yeah.
At the same moment that this is happening inside of Meckel's mind.
Maybe I'm distracting somebody.
Or maybe you're providing an avenue for escape. So,
Soul switch.
Wouldn't be the first time I've let something loose in my own brain.
so here we go. The flash of light finally subsides. In the material realm, where you are right now, you see some of the amoeba kind of like start to shrink and coalesce, and you see this like the body of Meckel. Your clothes are kind of all over the place. You decide how disheveled you want to be. Begin to try to reform, like you hear bones start snapping, like a big old eye that begins to deflate and like set itself into the orbital of a skull that's not quite finished compiling yet. You come out of the same spot. Your body also is like inside of this amoeba thing, as like this wave of flesh kind of like uncovers itself from you as you're laying down in it. Your eyes are closed. You're still like somewhat unconscious. We'll get to that in a second. But this is cool. This is what you see from your vantage as this is all happening. And as this happens, you send this message, and you hear, "Oh, hello." And this ton of bricks just slams into your mind. Go ahead and roll an intelligence saving throw.
Wait, which one's working? This one was working.
Was it?
Ooh, I suck.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I wasn't sure which way that was
Yeah,
going
me
there.
neither.
That was-
Well, I rolled a 6, and with my intelligence saving throw modifier, that makes it
A six.
a 6.
Okay. So, do you want to use a DM inspiration, or are you good with this? Or
What
a
DM's
world
inspiration? I used my last one
Oh,
last
okay.
session.
Okay. So, you feel this indomitable presence just absolutely assert itself over your mind. You felt like this before when you first started to get these red eyes. Not the same feeling, but the same. But it's familiar. The moment I think that Argus, just do me a real quick, like very easy. I just want to know what's going on here with your. Just roll a con save for me real quick.
Yep.
8. Okay. This is one of those things where like the DC is 5, so as long as you didn't like.
I rolled a
really-
5.
Okay, so you, by the skin of your teeth, succeed.
There's always a chance.
Yep.
It was like pretty much just don't roll absolutely the worst you could roll. You do kind of like
You're right.
cough and like kind of blink yourself awake. You're pretty disheveled at the moment too. How many hit points do you have left?
28.
No, you don't. You have 18.
Oh, like that. No, you don't.
You just had a massive fight with this thing in this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sorry, you just had a fight in the Matrix, so like when your brain got damaged, your body got damaged.
Well, technically, my no doubts are supposed to give me temporary hit points.
That is a very good point. How many hit points per each one?
Depending on the level of spell it is.
You know what? I'll call it a wash. Yeah, you can still have your 28. I'll give you that one. But I will say that you have 18 plus 10 temporary points. Because that was wild some shit. Yeah, I have no problem with that. That's cool. It's cool as shit. That's dope. Cool.
Technically, I could give some away.
So you kind of come to and like bleary-eyed and blink, finally back in your body for a moment. Cole,
For a moment.
you kind of see this, but don't really because you've got migraine eyes right now. And you see Cole doing the same crown temple like movement that you just saw Meckel do when this whole thing started.
You want my stats?
It is like I will
not
like
the
you have
first
a
time Cole's
moment
done
to like
something stupid at
react
the
to
last
this.
second.
It's not your turn, but you have a moment to like react as you want. Also, I want to start like bringing everybody together in turns anyway, so we're gonna slowly start.
Well, that's
That'll
up
be
to you.
interesting.
I mean,
yeah.
You mean
know.
you're
So just
you're,
letting
you're
you know.
tired
I
with
don't
our
really have
with our
much-
travels across the plains here?
Of a reaction.
I don't mean like a reaction in mechanically. I mean like
Okay.
there's something that you can do because we're starting to get to the point where like action economy doesn't really mean a whole lot just quite yet, unless I say it does. Like we're trying to like there are still things you can do because for the foreseeable future you're struggling with this. For the foreseeable future you're kind of passed out. We'll see what happens.
oh, I'm
Actually,
not
roll,
in my own realm.
roll a con save for it. You're no longer transformed. You're no longer a tantrum transformed.
No.
No, I meant, am I in his realm now?
No, you're in the material. I mean,
You
your
don't wanna
body
be in
is in
my
the
realm.
material.
You're coming back into your own.
We'll see if your mind is
Uh,
and your soul.
it's a con check.
Yeah.
The I got a 20. It's
A dirty 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, you come to the same time he does. And you see Cole doing the stuff that you felt before. And you see that as well. Log, you're just trying to survive.
Log and Eleazar. Like, do we hear the sound cut off?
Sound of
The E.
oh, like
from,
the I don't think Log is paying attention.
No, it's like,
But probably Eleazar.
Yeah.
so I'll sort of like grab
Yeah,
him
yeah.
and just sort
It's
of
the
like,
sound of his own heartbeat is the loudest thing right now.
I'll set him down against the wall and just like
Yeah, you can absolutely catch up to him at some point.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
are
I'm-
definitely moving faster.
I'm not
than
moving
Mog
at half
is.
speed and he is. So
Yeah.
catch up to him just like
Yeah, you don't have to be stealthy anymore now since you hear the beep stop.
And the
If you don't want to.
boxer's trainer is like, no, like,
set him against the wall.
The fight's
and,
over.
like,
You
start not like mechanically patching up his wounds, but like start to
Yeah, you try to
Help.
you try to do
Be a-
the things you
be
would
a
try to
dude.
do for somebody who is like heat stroke and like
Yeah.
on the verge of death. Just try to
give him
stabilize
some
them.
wine and
Yeah, yeah, that's what I do.
Some
When
jerky.
somebody has heat stroke, I give them wine.
I mean, but if
hot
it's Log,
tamales.
then
Please don't. Hey, PSA, please don't give someone who has heat stroke wine. Please don't do that.
it's ice
We do
cold.
not support that.
It's old school wine, not like,
Is it ice wine because the ice Drakash is? Sorry.
If it's California
It's
white
cold.
with ice cubes, that's fine. But
I mean, if it's ice fine, it could be it's
Oh,
even
yeah.
more alcohol that way.
very sweet.
it just means you won't notice the heat stroke anymore.
That's
Well, yeah, you'll be drunk pretty quick.
so
Okay, so I want to go run over to Cole.
fantasy.
you'll have to
version
like
of
jump
Gatorade.
down because you remember you guys are up on
Yeah.
the second tier there. It's kind of slanted, so you have to jump down.
And I'm just going to grab his head and say, you don't belong in here either. But I don't
You
have
take
the-
5 points of falling damage.
What?
You fell down 10 feet, my dude. Like 10, 15 feet. At least want to climb down.
The thing was taller than Eleazar was.
Yeah,
So
you're
it's-
short as
I mean,
fuck.
15 feet is a pretty big fall for
Yeah.
a 4-foot door.
Yeah, it hurts, man.
Aren't you
So
just
I
like?
want to go run up and grab Cole's head and be like, you don't belong in here either. But I don't have anything.
You don't
else.
have anything left. You're just trying to like. You're just,
You're just arguing
trying
with
to
the thing in my head.
the guy out
Well,
of his brain.
I used everything to get him out of Meckel's head.
Yeah, you did.
Maybe if you hit him in the back of the head, it'll come out
Oh,
the
just-
nose or something. Yeah.
So stupid.
Cole,
You try
use
Cole
your
cocked him
mental
in the back.
fortress.
You could easily knock him out.
I
man.
actually do have that spell still.
Hey.
I have the spell slots for that.
You're just trying to like. You're airplane. Pull yourself together. Smack. Pull yourself together. Please don't do that. But yeah.
Don't actually do that to somebody
Yeah,
who's
don't
hysterical.
ever
but
do that. But that's pretty much what you're doing. Cole, we're gonna do this one thing, and then we're gonna go back to
Yeah.
Moon Boys, Moon Peeps. Is why don't you do me a favor, and you're gonna roll another intelligence saving throw for me, and each time you do this, it gets harder and harder and harder.
Do I have the ability to do anything else, or I just roll a saving throw?
I mean, you are currently having the battle for the control over who you are entirely with something that is fully trying to take you over.
Okay.
So, like, if you would like to do other things, you can. You will roll disadvantage on the save
Okay.
because you're not putting all of your energy into it.
Right. I got you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I just I have an
Can
idea
I?
in my head. Can I?
What's up?
Can I cast enhance ability on his intelligence?
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
as I was
One
running
second.
over
How
there.
long does it take to cast enhance ability?
That's an action.
It's an action. Okay. How many points of exhaustion do you have? Just one.
One.
Just one. Okay. Yeah, you're good. So you don't already have a disadvantage on the saves. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know this is
Yeah,
attacking
I guess
his
you can
brain.
do that as part of shaking,
Yeah.
baby shaking. Please don't do that. Like,
Wait, we didn't say anything about shaking babies.
No,
shaken baby syndrome is pretty much what he's doing to Cole. Is what's
okay.
happening. Like,
I'm holding his head. I'm not shaking.
that's
him.
worse.
No,
Just
it's
like
not.
this, like
Okay.
Oh,
No,
I actually
I'm
no.
sorry.
My,
I have the
in
whole
my mind, I
airplane
was like,
scene stuck in
you
my
had
head.
my head,
I was
and you were
doing
going
this, not this.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified because that's
very
what I thought. I'm like,
different, yeah.
you're giving Cole a concussion just like shaking him around.
No.
Get out of him! You sound like all the evangelicals. Get out of him! That's making you're a cleric. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you could do that. Sure.
Okay.
Well, he's rolling that. Can
Now
I?
you have advantage.
Cool.
You gonna say do I see that torch anywhere up on this platform?
The torch is on the torch wasn't up the platform because the thing was down on the below, and you threw the
okay.
torch at it, and then it teleported up, and then it exploded.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you do see this torch on the ground. I'm gonna roll to see if it's still lit.
Okay.
It's still fucking lit.
I'm going. While he's doing whatever he's doing, my plan is to go down, climb down, grab
Sure.
the torch.
Do you want to climb down or jump down?
I'm fucking climbing down.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and get to the torch
What?
and pick up.
What?
The light from the
Uh-huh.
thing
Uh-huh.
is no longer blocked by the thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Do I disintegrate it to dust? Is that what you're trying to get at?
I
No.
don't know if it has.
He's a vampire in the sunlight.
I'm just curious if you're right underneath it. So I was
okay.
curious if it had.
If
any
it
effect.
helps for your curiosity, it's one of the things that's allowing this to happen right
Okay.
now.
I
Yeah.
assume.
So I'm gonna grab the torch, and when he's doing whatever he's doing, I'm gonna totally Indiana Jones Cole.
Like Kalima. The yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then he goes to go and it burns it. Okay, cool.
No. By that I mean the torch.
The torch.
Temple of Doom, where
Temple
he
of Doom.
touches his back.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
We'll double team him.
That's kind of fun. Okay.
And the whole entire time that I'm doing that, I'm thinking of
Okay,
his
so roll a
homies-
d4 for your damage because you hit. You're not moving.
Yeah, I'm locked in place.
You hit. Roll a d4. Here's-
And in my actually
thank
I
God
would
it's
probably
a
say this
D4.
out loud by the name of what the, why am I Argus? Yes, by the name of Argus, as I'm thinking of his holy symbol.
By the name of Arcus. You have your first follower.
And the funny thing is, I rolled max damage, so 4.
4. Okay, so here's
How
the
much
deal.
hit points do you have left, Cole?
You can roll your intelligence saving throw,
After.
add advantage because of enhance ability, and I reduce the DC by 4. This is not easy.
Okay.
Dude, what? Can you pass that over to him, please?
Oh, I gotta use this to advantage. Okay.
How many times have
Absolutely.
we used this thing?
Is
Because
that damn
Cole, this is
cloak?
we're at
Oh yeah, no, it makes sense.
we're
It
at the
does.
possible point between. This could be something where you may have to re-roll a new character.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what character should I reroll?
What'd you get?
I rolled a 5 and a 3.
Oh, even with our help, that
Yeah. No. Yeah. I rolled. The one that's been doing good for me all night is not.
his body doesn't go up in ash, does it? Because I didn't do that.
No, so much. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm gonna ask you as the player if this is okay with you because I don't want to take away a character from you that you. Have
I am
baby-
okay if Cole is no longer a
He
character that I can
literally
play.
said
I
that
just I,
earlier.
like, I
Yeah,
know
I
how
did,
precious
actually.
characters are to people, and doing something that other than combat, dying, death saving throws can be very viscerally unpleasant for people. So I want to make sure that this is something that you,
Yeah.
because we can find a different way to do this if you're not okay with this.
Can I say this?
Sure.
I'm fine with you going forward for this. Can we keep a door open at somewhere
Absolutely.
where we can potentially kind of try and save Cole?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
Cole is not like dead.
Yeah.
Cole is going to survive, but Cole won't be Cole anymore.
Does he go
Cole
into
is
the
going to
doll?
be the consciousness that is stuck in the backside watching
Cole
everything
is
happen.
Cole is
that
being
make sense?
pushed into his cage in the back of his mind.
That's what's happening. Yep. Granted, what that means is kind of a double-edged sword because for you, that makes Cole safe from whatever was happening that made his eyes red, because something else might take the brunt of whatever is happening like that. So it might be a place that maybe you're
So-
comfortable being.
If they hadn't done that, what I was about to do on my turn was say I was
Oh,
going
to
to go.
witness.
I was going to go witness and
Nah, bruh.
surrender control to whatever it was before.
I'll allow you to do that now if you want to do that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
You
was
want
going
to like do that in response to this, because here's the deal. Here's what happens. I'm going to just narrate this for you real quick because this makes a lot of sense. So you feel you're losing this. You're losing this battle. You're not going to win this battle. You are against insurmountable odds. You're not going to win. You have one last bit of agency of your own mind before you completely lose it and are partitioned to who knows where.
Yeah.
And you do what?
I say the word witness, and all those barriers that I've been trying to put up to protect myself from this thing. I do that whole mental image of the cracks in the dam, the water coming through, and then
And the flood just comes through. Yeah, the door creaks open, the cracks in the dam, and you let loose for lack of a better term, the dogs of insanity. And you let the thing that asked you to witness through, the thing that was banging on the edge and the barriers and the walls.
the thing that I've run
beside
from
you.
before. I'm finally just saying,
Yeah.
you can have me.
Yeah, you're letting it happen. So with the last action that you have, you're like, fine, you deal with it. And you open the cage and you let the monster out. And Cole, we're going to get back to that in a second. First, we're going to go back to... we're going to go
As I'm
back.
holding him.
Yeah, as you're holding him. Oh my God, this is wild. I had no idea this was this.
I'm glad I'm not
thought-
near.
Extremely.
I'm going to say this.
insane.
I thought last session was intense. Did not know this was how today was going to be.
Yeah, no.
As we were already so down on everything.
I have a few spell slots left, but that's it. I mean,
Okay, this is so. You guys have found some purchase in this hollow girder as you're moving through this
Just
massive structure.
out of curiosity,
Sure.
do any of Tweg's new symbology match any of this?
It's a very good question.
And
It's
I
a very
do.
good question.
And I am injected
And
with
you
Twig,
did
too.
comprehend languages. I think as you mentioned that to her,
Tweg injected her.
yeah, I think as you mentioned that to her, she's like, yeah, they do look familiar. And your brain and like the stuff that's inside of you start to like and start to spin up and activate. You feel you're starting to like understand stuff, but at the moment where you are, there's not a whole lot of symbols because you're inside like an air vent.
But I had written down the symbols before.
Yeah, but do you want to look at your piece of paper while you're in this heavy air current?
No, well,
Okay,
no.
that's
but
what I was saying.
but
Yeah.
based on my memory,
When you,
yeah.
I would say
From like,
it's up to you whether you want to start to have revelations while you're trying to physically not die, and be blown away into
Could be
space.
flashback, you know, the whole time.
You can do that however you like. You're more than welcome to do that. This would be, if you guys want to have a conversation, and use one of your hands to cast message and all that stuff while you're holding on to stuff. That's up to you. But I assume you probably want to do that in a place where you're not in a massive wind tunnel.
yeah,
Let's try to.
yeah.
Okay.
And
That's
just
fine.
continue
But-
moving to try to get out.
Yeah, but just so you know, you do have the potential of figuring out a lot more.
The gears in my head are turning.
Yeah,
that's
for sure. Not even just turning, like new synapses are being built
all. Okay.
intentionally. Like not automatically, intentionally.
Okay.
And then what I meant by not being formed and created, built.
Right.
So
Nanites.
sure.
Grey goo. It's the dangerous kind.
So I'm gonna have you guys roll another strength saving throw. I don't want to keep doing this all and everything, but you have quite a bit of distance to travel while you're through this before you could possibly find a way to egress this like vent or whatever it may be.
Okay.
Much better.
Yeah.
19.
19.
Same.
Okay, yeah. You figure out that you need to make yourselves very aerodynamic so you don't create as much wind resistance, and you cling yourself very, very close to each other and squeeze as hard as you can to try to, and like you put your arms out and head and you like hold your hands and do this type of thing together so you can make this like pin, like spinning pin through there, and you, and eventually I think without, I'm not going to make you roll for this because it's ridiculous because it's going to happen eventually. You do spot some like other vent, like there's a different way to like get out. There's some sort of girder or grate or something. It does look firmly in place. You can kind of like jut yourself and like
crowbars are
anchor
out?
yourself right next to the grate.
Is there like a screw or a bolt or?
No, it's flush. There's a grate, but it's just flush with the wall.
Crowbars it is.
Yep.
Crowbar it is. Okay, so go ahead and roll your strength at advantage.
Yay.
Crowbar advantage.
Indeed.
Natural 20.
And dirty 20.
You guys both look at each other, nod, and go. And this thing
ceilings
bends and snaps, ching ching, and a bunch of the you do it again to a bunch of the grates, and pieces go, beep, 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 and you're able to make a big enough space where you can like kind of squeeze
Like
yourself
the fins
through.
of the grate. we
Yeah,
just,
like fins of the grate, just ting 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 ting.
break them out.
Yep, and it's sharp. It sucks because you do get a couple scratches and ow, scrapes is moving through, but you are able to no damage really.
Okay.
Just something that you
Just
are
bruised
able to get
egos.
through, but you do escape the wind tunnel, and you find yourself slanted in some sort of corridor of metal that you're not familiar with, metal or ore that you don't know, but corridor, very alien type, right? We're talking about like Scorny Weaver spaceship type of feel.
Not twig alloy.
Could be, but in order to really, really figure that out, you
I'd
might
have to
want to
take
have
some
Twig
time,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's poofed right.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent some time.
Yeah,
No,
there was
don't
like
worry about it.
you can if you want to try to take a sample to bring back, you could.
We had taken one of the pieces that were
fins
floated
that
away.
You can try like the grates, like pretty much you snap it's like you snip the inside as you, so they're just kind of like pieces that are bent out. You can take some time to try to do it. You are also kind of like starting to run low on. Well, how long does the bubble last? 8 hours.
24 hours.
24 hours. So you're fine with that. You are also in atmosphere, so you have time.
Okay.
If you want to take a decent amount of time to try to do this.
We also
Up to
don't
you.
know what's going on with everybody else, so
Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's, yeah.
You can try. One of the things that you're noticing about this construction is like you don't see any like seams. You don't see bolts, screws, rivets. You don't see any of that stuff. There's no seams. It's just like it's almost as if it's like just one piece. The whole megastructure is just one piece like this, which to you it's like that's fascinating. That means the structural integrity of this thing is phenomenal. Also impossible to disassemble as far as you know.
Yeah.
But fascinating. Cool. So you find yourself, you're at a slant too, because the thing is at a bit of a slant as well, right? So whatever steel, metal, not steel, but some sort of metal or corridor that you're in, there are some like lights that are on the ground, very, sci-fi movie style, that are like fluttering and everything. They are blue in color. They give you a little bit of ambient. You are like, on a bit of a list, but you're there. You have a moment. You see the corridor goes forever in that direction before it turns, or comes to a T intersection, and forever in that direction before the same thing happens.
I mean,
Any ideas? Can you can't use your thing on command.
no. It's kind of one of those very weird variables that changes every
Kevin's
single
like,
time.
I hate my die. I need to go through.
It's one of those weird
been
variables
bad.
that changes every single time that you use it.
They've been very bad.
So we'd sort of
So-
like
You have
to
some dice
fail,
jails floating.
like force it.
force it to fail.
And even
With
then,
the-
are we gonna end up back where we were?
I can't guarantee it. I could get us maybe to the Underdark. Well, 'Cause I do
Oh,
have
speaking
the-
of which, if you guys are talking out loud, you can hear each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it sounds more like this than anything, but
Because how long were you? It's an hour that you're deafened.
Oh, I don't. How long does deafen last?
right. Let me look that up.
From the poison.
Because otherwise, I'll still be doing this all via message. Because
You'll realize I can't hear you.
yeah.
Let me double check.
But you can hear yourself now when you're messaging. You're like, oh.
Oh, okay. Atmosphere. Great. Still gonna keep the bubble song.
Against each other. That's what we're.
It says it hasn't been an hour yet, has it?
I mean, I don't know how long I was in the flesh sack,
Right.
but it's only been
So this kind of deafened
10
condition.
minutes or so since.
Because you were
they-
stunned for a while and you saved, and because like stuff happened, but the deaf was part of that as well, like the disease or whatever.
Eleazar cured me of like one piece of it, and then like
Yeah.
somebody else did
So
something.
you it's like you're starting to get like. But this is something that if you want it to go, this could take a very long time to stop, like a whole day. But there's stuff you can do about it. Like you feel like you could use magic or something else to try to do something about it. You just have to figure out whether it's going to be effective or not. What is happening here? Why are we passing papers? What's happening?
for every class. Too.
Character sheet.
Yeah, he was showing
Turning
up,
over a new character sheet.
and I laughed because I'm like, I have those sheets at home.
You fucking nerds.
That's why I handed those back. I was like, I already have those.
Oh my god, it's still happening. You're giving a new character. I get what's happening.
It was just some shade. It was just
Yeah.
some shade.
And it's fair
That
shade.
was dope, by the way, Matt. You were like, "Here's a new character sheet." Loser.
I mean,
I was trying to be helpful.
yeah, it was.
well, I mean, I just
by
threw-
throwing the massive amount of shade. I love that. Okay.
I mean, I just threw shade myself. I turned to Noelle and said,
Do you have any character sheets?
no, I turned to her and said, if the thing that takes over Cole tries to kill the bakers doesn't, please don't kill him.
All right, this is burn end stuff. Let's
Yeah,
go.
that's why I'm saying.
Okay,
like,
so
there was shade like seconds.
that's where you guys are.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to try? Do you want? You can't hear me still. Okay. Do you want to try?
No, he can. When you're talking out loud, you can hear.
No,
You
he's
just
still,
said I'm still deaf.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, but you can hear like.
Right,
Like-
but
But-
she still has to message.
Yeah, you don't.
For me to understand.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. If you weren't deaf, it would be because you do have atmosphere. But
Yes.
if you were Argus, because you could read lips.
So.
You wouldn't have a problem the whole time.
So. do you want to try like you were saying we could do the catalyst stuff? Like I could try to do something where like I send you just like what I tried doing just now, and kind of trying to remember the exact variable that I used during that particular equation with the catalyst dust, and we try it. We could try it with. Do you have any more of that jerky? Maybe.
I mean, I do have jerky.
You have a decent amount of jerky. You try to make sure. Speaking of which, do you want to check on your mimics that don't have a bubble around them?
Buddies. No.
You only have the egg.
No, I've got my.
He's got three.
Pauldron.
No.
Pocket watch,
Oh,
egg, pauldron.
No, the one was on conch.
The one was
Yeah.
on conch.
Oh,
We found it. It was almost dead.
No,
think
I
it's
tried to get it off the wall. You guys never got it again. We haven't gone back.
I thought we.
He was not
You
able to
been
get
in
it off the
flesh
wall.
sack. It didn't come with me.
No, I thought you guys collected it. I'm
It
sorry.
didn't come with me.
No, it didn't.
I tried.
It didn't want to go with us.
The servants probably have it. It's okay.
So
Well,
the egg,
might be hidden.
actually, it probably has the servants.
So the egg and the pauldron.
I saw the egg.
That's
in the
okay too.
pauldron.
The egg.
Yeah.
the
so
pocket watch isn't with you then?
I didn't have a pocket watch.
You had to feed the pocket.
No, that was
That was the egg.
That's the
it was
egg.
Oh, that
in
was
my
the egg.
pocket.
I'm sorry.
My jacket pocket. Because
What was the other one, then?
I haven't
The
trained
thermostat. That was the one that he couldn't get off the wall.
it wouldn't come off the wall.
The thermostat was on.
Thermostat
conch.
wouldn't leave the
But
wall.
when he
It's like
blew
I'm
up-
here now. That's where I live.
It's
I
where a
control the
thermostat
temperature
belongs.
here.
He was just trying to increase his kill count. That's all.
I'm
it
currently
was.
installing an HVAC system.
But yes, I will feed the buddies.
Yeah, you try to.
How long didn't they have hair?
Lasts for how long? Or how many people can you test it on? Is it just 2?
I think it's 3.
Okay.
I don't know if mimics have to breathe.
The pauldron
Yeah.
one, which I believe was like that was kind of like the fungus.
Yeah.
That was like the smoke alarm one, right?
No,
No.
It was the
The other mushroom guy put on him.
Yeah, it was like, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the religious leader was trying to keep
Of
an eye on
the
me.
The moon hand
The
people.
moon hand.
The moon
yeah.
hand people.
Yes. Of the factions.
It was their way of.
I don't know
keeping
what
an
any of these
eye on
called.
me.
Yeah, there was like moon dancers, moon hands, all that whole thing. Yes. So, yes, you. The egg eventually does respond and eats extremely slowly with very low energy.
I just leave the piece of jerky. in
It
the
is.
pocket.
It looks not great. The pauldron, the like mushroom type pauldron, doesn't respond at all. You're not sure. You don't know a whole lot about mimic physiology unless you want to try to figure it out.
Not right away. I'll deal with it in a minute.
But it's still stuck to him, though, right?
Yeah.
Do you try to remove it?
No.
No.
Leave it.
Like,
Okay.
has to fall off.
I mean, it was just an idea because we couldn't know for sure if it actually would get there, etc. So
Right.
I've got. I mean, I can banish you back home. I know I can do that. That's a guarantee.
Unless this is
Unless you're on the same plane.
this is the same realm. It's just somewhere else.
Right. But
That's a risk you might have to
I think
take.
between the
not
two
bad.
of us, we can.
You need to feel better so you can figure out what the fuck is going on.
I don't want to leave you behind,
Okay.
so I don't agree with that.
The fact that
Alright.
both of you are here together, because it very
After
it
seeing
could-
all my fucking life too.
yeah,
like-
exactly, and like how it very easily could have been just Trisheni.
Satellites from the spot.
It's very different.
So
Okay.
between the two of
Burn
us, we put our brains together. We figure out a way back.
All right. Here, I know you don't do well. You do arcane, but it's not the same type that I do. But I know you know math very
You do
well.
drugs. It's not the same that's what I do.
I like the blue. He likes the green. You know.
We're here by ourselves. No one's around. Want to get high?
You don't do the same arcane I do.
Yeah.
You do black, blue, I do red. You know,
Exactly.
You can at least make some
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
But-
Why are we having this conversation? Log's not up there. With
Oh man.
But I can still show you my equations, and maybe we can figure
This
it
is
out.
getting better and better.
Okay.
that's what we're calling him.
All right. And I think maybe we can think through some of the dust. Also, something clicked, if I may, when we were going through. After comprehending the languages and everything that's on there, but not understanding fully, I just remember how Twig injected me just a little bit ago. Okay, something's. I feel like I'm now starting to kind of understand more of the puzzle without trying to understand the puzzle. If that's
You saying that made me think of something.
okay.
Sort of like look up off into the distance.
The middle distance.
Say the phrase persevere, foster, thrive.
The mantra.
The mantra of
That was on Twig, that was carved into Twig.
yes. You say in what language?
I know what one's supposed to be, but do you know it?
Pick Infernal. It's always good to pick Infernal.
I don't think he speaks in first.
But if you
Gnomish?
You say persevere, foster, thrive, and gnomish.
Yeah.
It kind of echoes down the metal.
I think I can I can understand you right now because it's comprehend languages.
yes, you totally do.
Oh, so right. And I say it in Celestial
That's what I was about to say.
You say it in Celestial.
because I speak it anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
You say it in Celestial. There is a kind of like a spin up of power, and the entire corridor that you're in begins to light up, and you start to feel like air blowing on you too.
It's all
as, like,
related.
warm, atmospheric, like room temperature air starts to blow onto you. There's always also like there's for a moment coming from absolutely nowhere, perhaps originating from the side of one of the walls. There's like a scanning beam that goes like to you, and says something that you don't understand. That just says dehydration detected, and this little mist of H2O just mists you guys.
It just said dehydration detected. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
You're just getting misted.
It worked. It worked.
I know. Okay. Okay. Yes. All right. You want to like follow the lights? Like keep going down a little bit?
Oh,
Now that
the lights do only go in one direction.
Okay.
Yeah, they do go a little bit in the other direction, just kind of give you a little bit of a buffer.
Ambient,
but they do
yeah.
kind of like go in one direction.
I don't see why not.
All right, let's do it. I have a crazy idea.
I'm skipping now.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
It's easier because of low gravity.
Or is it still low gravity?
No.
Normal
Ooh.
gravity inside.
But
So it actually
only
takes you
after
longer
you
than-
said persevere, foster,
Oh.
protect.
After the
it
lights
was
came on.
before, like not much, and then as soon as that happens, you feel like the weight of like, oh, you kind of almost like trip and fall because your actual weight kind of pulls down, as seems like some sort of artificial gravity has enacted itself.
Yeah.
It might have been funner if you'd used Infernal.
Matt, what are you doing? Get out of here.
I only know Dwarven, no mission comment. That's all I know how to talk. So
Maybe.
no dangerous language.
Yeah, technically, even if you have comprehend language, you can only comprehend it. You can't speak
Right,
it.
you have tongues
That's
for that.
tongues.
Yeah. Maybe if I try to tell it or ask it for it to send us in the right direction, like to
Yeah.
maybe someplace to transport
I
or
was gonna
or
say like transport room or teleportation room or
right.
something.
Okay. Please direct us to teleportation room in Celestial.
In Celestial, there is like a just like this technological whirring and computing thing, and there's just a voice that comes back to you. The in Celestial, to you, that sounds just like and to you, it sounds like teleportation chamber out of commission.
Oh, great.
Structural damage, compromising.
Okay, so that's not going to work. There is a chamber, first of all, so that's exciting. But it said that it's out of commission. Oh,
Refer to the engineering sector for more information.
said refer to the engineering sector.
I got
if-
that last sound.
There's like
Yeah.
a little,
No
it's like
translation.
one of
yeah.
like the
Yeah.
little rubber things is attached to the ventilation that just like accidentally just kind of.
I'll ask for where it is. Please direct us to the engineering sector. Be-
sector is lost.
There's like another. There's a lot of very strange sounds you wouldn't affect. Like it sounds like the guy from Police Academy who does all the police. It almost sounds like that rather than.
I've got the creeps, the jeeps, and the.
Yeah, so rather than actual like yeah sounds, it's like there's a bunch of other odd sounds. You're like, so you're just like, why? And so it's really really crazy. That's what you hear. It's a little bit. It's like it's almost like it's speaking its own language, but it's still making sounds. Like we actually had talked about this before. How there's like this whole culture of people who have the whistles as their actual names.
The melodies.
Yeah, because
yeah.
so it's like that is the actual language. To us, we don't really understand it the same way, but that is the way it's supposed to be understood. So you still hear it as the way it's supposed to be understood. It's a little bit different to you because it's a little bit more cohesive in the way you hear it, but that is the actual language. The meaning of it is what those sounds make too. It's not actually supposed to be something that's a thought in the language that you understand.
The old
So
game loading screens where it was like deflagerizing spleens and like it It was words that didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
made you think that it was doing
Even
something.
Discord does that stuff,
Yeah.
and a lot of other games.
It's
Wait,
like
how
it's like
old do
the
you
old
think this-
EA games where like you could put in the special symbols to do special codes. No.
Yeah.
But it's
I know what you're saying.
not even
I know what
that
you're
much.
saying.
Yeah, it's just
I know what
random
you're
words that
saying,
they
too.
throw
I'm just
together:
having some fun.
verb, object,
Yeah.
adjective.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's just like that sound is supposed to be interpreted as that sound, not words that have a meaning as far as your understanding is concerned. And that's how so far removed. Because comprehend languages, again, other people more powerful than you have probably tried this with the Otherworld macrolith and have not been able to
But I do
either
s-
figure it out, or if they have figured it out, no, have
But
not
I do
told anybody.
speak Celestial anyway,
Yeah,
and
so
I am
this is not in
injected.
Celestial. The computer language, the beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop,
Yeah.
is not in computer language. What it says afterward,
Okay.
while it's computing, is in Celestial that you are understanding, which is why I'm saying it in the language
Okay.
English. So, but anyway,
Direct us
just
to
to
What
give
does
you
it
guys a
say?
little bit of effect because cool stuff and world building.
Direct us to engineering.
It says engineering sector damaged, atmosphere not found. Caution.
Okay, engineering is damaged. There's no atmosphere there.
Recommendation.
It's giving us a recommendation. Hold on, it's thinking. And now it's just being
Seinfeld.
exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Shh, don't use that. It's
Recommendation. Awaken engineering personnel.
There's
Said-
people here?
It said, yeah. It said to recommend waking them up.
Okay. Go
That
make new friends.
have you noticed us? We are not the people to be making friends.
I'm fine at it.
You're
The one that always rolls charisma is Bro's like, we're gonna do this. You're
No,
gonna
he's
help
like,
us.
I'm the
Roll-
best at making friends.
Yeah,
I'm
roll
good at making
persuasion.
friends.
yeah.
Why did I do that?
From my point of view, I'm great at making friends.
No,
Well,
we,
I mean,
we can
Cole was
try.
trying to get his making friends thing. It just didn't work.
We can
I
try.
would consider us friendly. I mean, before you
You're
go.
not
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we can try. I just
That's
Yeah.
fine. We don't have to.
So, what do you guys do? How do you respond?
We could also just go to teleportation room and see if we can force one of them to work.
yeah, and
Like a-
try to fix it.
One time.
Exactly. Even though we don't know the
response.
the coordinates or anything.
If this all really is tied together, maybe we could target Tweg.
Yeah.
Twig's poofed.
Yeah.
Do I know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tweg poofed when...
Yeah.
But you
Do I know that?
Oh.
Does
Oh.
Zemdak know that?
You
No,
were
he
but
doesn't.
She does.
I do.
He was deaf.
Twig is-
deafblind,
But she does
stunned.
know that within a reasonable amount of time, I would eventually resummon him.
Right, but what is a reasonable amount of time? Also,
Mr.
you're
Bean
you're
against
like, oh my god,
Right. Yeah,
survive.
I know.
So
Or maybe
It's only
not
been like
Tweg,
10
but maybe
minutes.
Walt.
yeah.
Don't pick Cole.
I could
all of y'all are in extremely horrible circumstances.
maybe
So-
because he saw through
Nothing's
my
great.
eyes. Maybe
The egg was injected and you were injected and
Yeah.
we were both here.
yeah,
So,
and maybe like,
that doesn't help.
but could try to get log. I mean, he
Yeah.
saw through my eyes. Maybe I can go the other way.
He's somehow tied into all of this.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. At the very least, let's maybe try heading that way.
Between your calculations and him, maybe we can get it to point us in the right direction.
We can try.
Calculations
Calculations.
he's gonna do. It's fine. Yeah, he's predictable.
I'll fill in the gaps.
Okay, we can figure this out. Worst case scenario, again, we can try.
I'm
our
not
own
gonna
means.
die alone.
Do you respond? And how do you respond? If you do so, or do you just
Instead?
start walking?
Please still direct us to teleportation room.
Received. Please give. restriction access code in order to bypass security measures for damaged quadrant.
It wants a password. It needs the security code to get through. I guess we do have to make some friends. Yes, let's make friends.
Available.
It said manual override available, but
Oh, there's a switch.
yeah. Okay, let's go check that out. If it doesn't work, then we'll go make a friend.
Okay.
Best. All right.
Give me a button to push. I'm pushing the button.
So you still don't know where to go. This is the question.
Time to wander.
Direct us to manual override.
Yep.
Okay.
Please.
You see a bunch of lights start to light your way, and that's going to take a while. So we're going to go back.
Follow it.
To who?
Yeah. Okay. So log real quick. Eleazar has kind of helped you. He's kind of got you on his shoulder and he's walking you to the thing. I think eventually we're going to say this. Eleazar notices that there is a side room that appears to have a lot of room to be able to lay you down if you need to rest. He also notices there's an amount of food here. It looks like there's one of the many kitchens that is inside the brass retreat he brings you into. Eleazar also used to be a lone urban bounty hunter for a very long time. And he's had to patch his own wounds quite a bit. So he starts to look around at some of the poultices, spices, foods, and starts to be like, he's been working there for quite a couple of minutes. To you, it feels like just a very quick fleeting moment as you're passing in and out of consciousness because you're so exhausted. Just not mechanically, but for flavor.
Well, I mean, you are that exhausted.
He does you start to hear as some sort of teapot or something is whistling. He's like, drink this, and he's kind of lifts you up and tries to give you something to drink. I'm gonna roll to see how well this is, just to give you guys a little. Well, we're gonna wait actually. Okay. Do you drink it?
I mean, it's from Eleazar.
It's
don't
up to you.
know what else to do? So yeah.
No, I'm just asking. Yeah, because I don't want to control your agency. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, you drink it, and you do get to remove 1 point of exhaustion as you feel yourself revitalized, re-energized. You also get 10 temporary hit points. He was able to find some very rare spices and very rare medicinal roots and stuff within this thing. And he kind of picks you up, and you get a little bit more clarity as you kind of sit up. And he's like, "You all right? You good? Keep sipping that."
What? We do have to be quiet.
No, listen. You say something, and then you sip. Okay?
What the fuck just happened?
You almost, a lot of stuff happened. Cole went back. We'll figure it out.
Why the fuck did you do that?
Because he's Cole. It's
That's actually a very valid reason right there.
That makes sense.
Did you see what happened to the others?
Did you just take over Eleazar
I think
from
he
me?
did. I just
It's fine.
I mean, he's been playing Eleazar the whole time anyway.
I guess we're collectively playing.
Argus burnt up.
He's all right. Get the hell out of here! My turn.
Yeah, you do it.
My turn. You're in space somewhere. Get out of here.
You might as well give it to Cole. I mean, sorry.
That's no.
Oh.
That's not nice.
That's not what I meant.
Sorry,
It's
I'll shut up.
so-
You play.
The only reason why is because I know a little
that-
bit more
yeah,
about
that was
his
loud
backstory that's
shade
going to
this
play
time.
into this.
No,
than
I
you
didn't
guys
mean to
know.
give you shade.
So it's like you keep drinking that. Well, I'll go back from once you're okay, and I can think you're okay. All right.
Okay.
Everyone else seems.
Feeling a little bit better.
Drasheni's gone. I don't know what happened. She did that whole thing where she just disappears when she tries to do spatial shit. When I can teleport from one place to one place. She did that whole thing, but she hasn't come back yet. But she's a strong, independent woman. She's very smart. I'm sure she's okay. Also,
we're small fry.
she took my buddy with her,
Why would she do that?
so that means it's gonna be doubly okay.
Log's trying to do the math in his head.
Also,
It's
don't
gonna
know
take
where
a while.
Argus
Should we
is.
switch scenes?
Well, no, he burned up. I saw that.
That's normal. Not worried.
I mean, yeah.
If it involves fire, he's probably fine.
Are you good?
I could use a bedtime story.
I mean, I'm not gonna do that, but I'll make you more tea.
Okay, then that'll.
My mama told me how to make this, so it's good. Good stuff.
Good on your mama.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm gonna sit here and drink.
All right.
I bust out some of my whiskey that I've got.
He like grabs it. He's like,
Your
get
little
that
hair of the
shit
toe?
out of here. Put that away. He snags it from you. Like, no, drink your tea. You get this when you're better.
Just, okay.
Are you asking for a hot toddy from Elliot before he goes away?
Go like, if you can tell me what like 27 times 17 is, then I'll give you a hot toddy. That's what I thought. All right, take your time. And then we move from log to, unfortunately, Meckel, Argus, and Cole. What's happening here? Meckel, you are awake and you bear witness to what happens here. You are the only one that is above.
No, I'm down with the torch.
Oh, you jumped, right?
No, I
That's right.
climbed.
You are both there right next to Cole. Argus, I need you to do me a favor while you're doing this and holding his head. I want you to roll an insight check.
All right, I need to stop rolling this die. What is my insight?
That's 100% on
13.
13. Okay, it's not horrible.
I rolled a 5.
Yeah, well, you have great insight, so you got lucky. You see Cole kind of like blink and come to for a moment, and then like make eye contact with you, and then smile, and then you see his pupils enlarge, and then you realize, wait, it's not his pupils that are enlarging that are red, and his irises that are red. It's just the red is spreading, like a red smoke, and like those CGI Hollywood stuff. That is and now spreading from his pupils into his irises to the sclera of his eyes, to the point where it's now just very like tiefling pupilless, all crimson in his eyes. He just smiles and he's like, "It's so good to be free." And he grabs you really hard. Very stiff. This doesn't make any sense. Cole is kind of a twink. There's no reason why he'd be able to grab you this stiffly. And it hurts. And you start to hear crunching as some of your like bones begin to give way for a moment. He's like, "Oh, I miss that sound. Brother, show me where you are. I can smell you." What do you do?
I go. I'm going to.
I'm sorry, she supersedes recording.
Which direction do I take this? I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy and make my eyes the same red as his. And say, "Put me down." In Primordial.
Fun! Fun! All I can say is fun. That's fun. Go ahead, roll an intimidation check, I guess.
I think you during the highlights you need to count how many times TJ has said fun or awesome this session.
This has been wild from start to
No, it
finish.
has. That's why I want to count. I just
I
want to
rolled
know.
a 5 again.
There's
On a
no way I
different
could.
die.
You can't.
That's
Kenton.
3 5s in a row.
Kenton.
What the heck?
Kenton. Did you stand up, go over there, grab a different set of dice? Because this isn't. Are you rolling different dice?
Yes.
Okay.
I am rolling different dice.
What is wrong with you? You have like the Will
obvious.
Wheaton curse or some bullshit. You have the Voke curse. It's now a new thing. You
Yeah, it
roll
is the
like
Voke curse.
you roll
He's
between a
invoking.
2 and a 5 way too often.
God, that was bad.
I'm sorry.
It's hilarious.
Wait, what was your joke? I want to hear it.
He's invoking.
So,
I'm watching this closely, still holding the torch.
yeah, I think you are still holding the torch against this individual of Cole, who is no longer responding to the pain of what he should be experiencing.
There's a very good chance.
No,
that-
but I'm watching the put me down or whatever.
Yeah, you are. Did you roll that intimidation check for me?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was
I
a
got
5.
You got a 5. Was
Yeah.
the total 6?
Yes.
Put me down. So not like lifting you because Cole was kind of on his knees at the
well,
moment,
let
so he
go.
was like eye level with you, but just like grabbed your elbow and you hear like the crunching. You're like, ow, ow, ow. Speaking of which, that is 7 points of damage to you as this thing just crunches into your elbow.
Oh, you definitely know it's not Cole at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Just a,
And then there's a moment where it's like, it blinks and it looks off to the side. Get out. You're not welcome here. And there's just this like, there's just kind of this ripple of recognition. You don't really know what it was. It felt kind of like what his, but much more minor. It was just like, ooh, it's just a little gut check, of like kind of like psychic ripple, light, weird sound wave energy. And Cole begins to stand up, and his fingers begin to get thicker and longer as they start to grow into tendrils and tentacles and things like that as they start to wrap around you and crunch and crunch and crunch and crunch. Roll a strength saving throw to try to get out of this. Yeah. And you can do stuff too. If you
Oh,
want.
yeah.
I rolled a 3.
So
Yeah, you're stuck in this thing.
So there is still shards of that glass stuff on the ground.
Yes, the terrazine glass. Yeah,
I'm going to
spent
grab a
terrazine
chunk
glass.
of it since as he stands up and basically he's facing away from me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to basically try to stab him in the back.
Yeah,
with
sure,
the-
with a sharp piece of glass.
Yeah,
you got
with
it.
the terrazine.
Go ahead, just roll a d20
I have-
plus your strength modifier.
Boo.
I guess, or dex. I don't really care.
It really doesn't matter. The oh no, I guess it will. A 6.
A 6.
So I miss.
You pick it up and like you go to hit them and you hurt yourself a lot more than you do this thing because the sharper part is on where your hand is. You're like, ow, and you let it go. No real damage here, but you definitely didn't do anything to this.
Yeah, and the torch didn't seem to affect it at all. So.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it could be taking damage. It's just not responding to that damage. Cole is not responding to that damage. So you start to see part of the tendrils and tentacles of these hands start to wrap around Cole. You are entirely aware of everything that is happening. You are sitting in the back seat, watching it happen, pounding on the glass, unable to do anything about it, but are 100% aware. So keep that in mind for the future as well, that you know everything that's happening. Is there something you wanted to say, or?
No, there's some stuff that I've got going on in my head, but that's my head. Not.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, but you do have like I'm not going to take away from you that you don't know what's happening. You are fully aware of what's happening. You also get a little bit more like some of the information of this entity that you let through is starting to also leak into you as well. So should that ever come to pass where you regain control, remind me of that, and there could be some things that you know. Argus, you're stuck on this thing, and this thing is crushing.
I attack him.
You can if you like. What would you like to do?
I'm going to. You know what? I haven't ever used this. I'm gonna hit him with my weapon. I'm going.
Yeah, I think you have like 3 magical items.
Yeah,
that you've
which
never
weapon?
used.
I do.
The sickle or the mace?
Which item that you don't use are you gonna hit me with? Because
First, I'm going to use Divine Disapproval as my bonus action,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
and then I'm gonna swing with my. What is? It's still nighttime, right? With dusk.
Is it the hammer or the
because
sickle?
It does look as to be the sickle. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, 20 minutes has passed since the last episode,
Yeah.
so yeah.
It's a 16 to hit.
16 to hit.
Playing for 8 hours,
Yeah, you
but it's
hit.
20
This isn't a hard thing to hit. It's grabbing onto you. It's not trying to be missed by you.
Yeah, but he's proficient at it.
It's expected to fail.
16 damage. Part of that's necrotic. Part of it is whatever the sickle is. Slash.
Okay. You said necrotic?
Yeah.
Necrotic does nothing. I mean, come on.
I know.
I mean,
but
Cole
I was
himself
trying to
might
decide
scream
what to
in
do.
the corner of his mind,
But there is
But how much damage?
You said 16, I think.
16?
6 magical slashing.
6 magical slashing. Okay. It does hurt it. I think what you do in that moment is you are barely able to cut off enough of the very ancillary tentacles to get yourself free as you slash off of it, and you fall to the ground about 4 feet before you are able to like kind of pick yourself up. The divine disapproval, remind me what it does again.
It's necrotic damage.
It's just necrotic damage. Does it do anything else? Oh, it's the cantrip.
Yeah. No, it's not a cantrip. It's a first level spell.
It's the
But
first level bonus action to enhance your weapon,
It
right?
gives me,
Right.
yeah, but it's necrotic damage.
Yeah, yeah. And you see this like the necrotic damage that you're like doing this divine. So it's actually really interesting because you see it not like that you did it to it. Like it was annoyed by that more than anything else, but it doesn't look like it was damaged by it. It's very odd. It's very, very odd. It looks like it was the intent and the power behind it is what bothered it more than it actually being harmed. Does that make sense?
My intent was to have to let go of me.
Like as in like because of the nature of your like
Yeah.
apostate kind of
Yeah.
abilities, it being some form of very high powerful deity being or whatever is like it was like I don't like that at all because because you did that to it, it has recognized because this is a different thing. You did the no gods, no kings to the voice in Meckel's head, and this is something different that Cole has let loose, and it has recognized that possibly actually roll an insight check with advantage for me.
What is my insight? 8? 20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. It has recognized that although you did not damage it, you're a threat because of the power that you possess. Like you are something that by nature your power comes from harming things that cannot be harmed. So it doesn't like this. So it, as you cut pieces of it off, lets you go, and is like, I don't need to deal with this. And it goes from this like whole like super confident grin, shit eating to, you're an annoyance. You're not worth my time. Turns around to you, Meckel. You have a very interesting friend. I hope I never feel him again.
I will, in response, nonchalantly, as well as I can,
Sure.
drop the torch.
How many points of exhaustion do you have right now?
Which is probably why I'm doing dumb stuff.
Yeah.
And I unsheath the flute and basically blast it as loud as I can right into his ear, if possible.
Yeah, sure, why not? Go ahead and roll a malicious performance check.
Okay. That's going to be, wow, an 18.
18. Okay, so here's the deal.
I'm gonna flag.
There's
down.
still
E
part.
flat, not an A major.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
This is really interesting because there's still a part of Cole. This is still Cole's brain. There's still some instinctual like things, pathways that are built into this body, regardless of whether this entity wants them there or not. Cole is still in there. That is so annoying to this creature, and the creature doesn't really know why because Cole is like, that is a semitone off. What the fuck are you doing? Like that is a quarter tone off. It's like it's so dissonant. That's accepted in certain types of things, but you're purposely being annoying. Why are you like this?
Why are you like this?
It gives this creature this type. It is afraid of you. It wants to flee. It's out of you because Cole's aversion to not good music and not good storytelling is
It's baked into Cole's DNA.
Yeah, it's baked into Cole's DNA, and I'm like, I am done with this situation. So it becomes actually afraid of you, and please, it leaves.
Can I
can you
steal his loot?
Yeah, you want to roll a sleight of hand check?
In his loot, as in LOOT.
No.
I'm like, that's...
Here's the deal.
18.
18. I was just about to say, depending on how well you did, you could also grab his bag with his stuff in
I
it.
would love to.
I would say 18's enough. You can grab both if you really want to. As this thing kind of like, you see the legs kind of turn into very odd, weird musculature as it kind of shoots up into the skylight that had that orange glow into it, and kind of shoots up again into. You guys can do stuff if you want.
I'm just going to look at my flute like, wow.
I banish demons.
Yeah,
This is probably your last chance to
I
do
don't
stuff
have
because it's
anything
trying to
else.
escape.
I sip tea.
You sip tea. You got it.
I wanted to take Cole's loot so that if ever he comes back, he still has it.
Yeah, you
And
got it.
That's why I was trying to take anything I can. If I can steal his bean, I'd love to do that too.
Yeah.
Okay, here, I will give you another chance to do this. You need to get to him.
Get to him?
He's up near the skylight now.
I have no spells left.
I mean,
What would come up? Be creative. If you want to come up with something, tell me what it is.
I will say this: like, if Cole knows that you're grabbing his loot in his bag, just if Cole
That's
can
a
do
very good
anything,
point. Yeah, you
Cole
want to
would
shine through in this moment?
Yeah, Cole would let you do those things. Like, totally be able to potentially, even if Cole could, like, grab his badge and throw it down.
If you're trying to assert the last, just even mote of possible agency you have over your body in this moment, you can like do the whole shrug shoulder thing to make it easy for him to take the strap of your loot off of your back, and like the same thing with the straps of your satchel and your bag as you like kind of like as this other thing forces you up. I will say there is a chance, and I'm gonna have both of you roll for this type of weird thing, for you to try to shug off like your inner coat that you keep your bane pinned to. You both need to roll reasonably well together, at least on average.
Can I that harsh thing give Cole advantage?
I think, yeah, I think so. Yeah, because you're gonna roll an intelligence saving throw to see if you can get. Actually, you'll get advantage from the intelligence saving.
You're level 3 now.
Because the creature is so now
I don't have
preoccupied
any
with
of the
getting
spells,
away.
It's just the
And
physicality.
you are going to roll a dexterity
But if you're a bard,
or
you
sleight of hand
automatically have
check.
inspiration.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
I'm not really a bard. Yeah.
If he is a bard, does he have bardic inspiration?
I don't know what I am anymore, so...
Did you want to take? You leveled up. Did you want to take it in bard?
Well, I mean, I originally, we can discuss all the other stuff.
Yeah,
but-
I'm
but
asking you now. If that's the way you wanted to
ideally,
go.
Yeah, I would go bard.
Okay, so that makes you a level 3 bard, and if I'm not mistaken, they have inspiration at that level, correct?
Yep.
So I will
You have a
give
D6.
Yep.
inspiration also.
Who are you giving?
Not really...
He has
to-
advantage. You probably want to give it to
Oh, okay.
Argus.
Yeah.
To my new godhead over here.
I love how you have a new follower and it's Meckle.
Especially with being an apostate, I'm
Yeah.
like, no.
No, we don't do this.
This is like the exact
We can be friends.
We can be friends, but I'm not your
I'm
god.
friend zoning you for real.
I am not your god.
Do not worship.
Dirty
Advantage
16.
16. That's not bad.
20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Oh, sorry, 21.
21. Okay, so what's the average of those guys?
106.
No.
Well, it depends
It's
on which way you
37
wanna
divided by 2, so...
roll. It's 18 or 19, depending.
Yeah.
on how
18 or
you
19. Okay. Tell me. So 18 or 19?
18 and a half.
Yeah.
18 is what you need. So either one works. It
There's
is
a
not an easy
D4 or
check. That
D6.
was fucking amazing.
6.
That one made a difference. So
I got one more. I used
you
the
got
wrong-
one more?
I
You
used the wrong dice. I used a D4 instead of a D6.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you got
actually, and I
D6.
forgot
Yeah.
to roll the... Wait, no, that was the inspiration for you, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wait.
Okay.
I
so
leveled up halfway through his roll.
okay. It never started with D4s, but sure. Okay, so yeah. You see, like, there's a part of, like, as these, like, legs transform into something else and kind of shoot you up towards the skylight as you kind of grab on, half of the body, kind of like how one part of the brain controls the other half and the other comes, does this, like, kind of, like, grabs on to Argus's sickle onto the blade of the sickle as you like bleed, and just holds on for dear life and starts to like shrug and pull and try to like throw the coat off of the shoulder. And the thing looks back and is like, what? And you begin to bleed, and the drips of blood as you're holding it up here hard as you possibly can with all of your strength. And Meckel comes over to you and grabs on with you and looks at you and just kind of nods and be like, I'm your new follower. And like, and pulls as hard as they can. It starts to kind of pull into the fingers of the hand, and the thing goes, ah, what? And Cole, you feel all this pain, but behind the glass that you're put in your own prison, you smile with tears in your eyes as your fingers pop off, cut off as the coat falls from your shoulders, and it lights to the ground as this thing shoots back up in the skylight, sneers, shoots through the roof, leaving a hole in the shingles, is gone.
Cole just potentially gave up his dream to let you guys have his stuff.
Are his fingers relics now?
His
So
fingers,
Log is
his
gonna want
four
those-
fingers,
those
pinky,
fingers.
ring, middle, and index, do lie on the floor there.
I'm
You have
going to say
pieces
this.
of him.
It's probably Cole's dominant hand,
Oh man.
It is. For
which
sure.
means that Cole's no longer
By the
a
time we
musician.
save
They are
your
at
own
like
power.
the
But
knuckle
replace it
here.
with the mechanical
So you have like
Or I
most
can
of your
make
fingers left, but not like the tip. Yeah, no, it's not the
No,
same.
trust me. If you know anybody who has missing parts of those fingers, they are not
Yeah,
as
I mean-
dexterity. That's not a thing.
I'm a
anymore.
musician. I totally know what you mean. Yeah, it sucks. It's that's it. You're
But
done.
Log's going to want the thing.
You can learn to live with it, but yeah, it's
Yes, you can. You very much can.
On his
Yeah.
fingers.
Yeah, as the fingers lop off. Fall
Does
to
he
the
have any
ground.
rings?
Does Cole have any rings? on
No,
that
Cole
hand?
does not.
No,
Oh.
Cole does not. No.
Okay.
But you do have pieces of him. No.
Hey, you can track.
His bean, his satchel, and his lute.
In his fingers.
I could take 10 minutes and gentle repose his fingers.
You
It's up to you. on that one.
Seriously, first relics of the new religion. Yeah.
Well, which religion? Because Cole's actually technically somebody who found
the
the
cult
Church
of Poopty, and we have now
No.
I meant his relics. as
Oh,
his
I know.
Cult of Argent.
Yeah.
the
I know, but
fingers of
Cole-
God. What do we call it now?
I
The,
have messed up fingers.
the fingers
So
of Argus?
there's
The three of us
the
over
hand
here
of Argus.
helped found the cult of Poopty in the very
the
first
cult of
town we
Poopty and
started
the hand
in.
of Argus.
Yeah.
That's just.
Argus just has
insane.
skeleton fingers. So
Yeah.
These are the replacement for his.
We can skin him. And
Do you put him on there like
Like-
Vlad totems?
I mean,
That's-
Cole was that actually is.
a dwarf hand with human fingers.
I mean,
They're
Cole.
like way too long.
They're like ET fingers
Well,
at that
and
point.
Cole's the one who dragged your ass to the fucking shrine to help heal your ass after you lost yours.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to keep your stuff away from this.
Oh
beast.
yeah. No, that's why I was like, if Cole knows that Argus is doing it, he's gonna give his stuff up to him.
Yeah. Cole gave everything that you had.
Can I have that? I pointed at the loot.
No.
Matthew.
Again, Meckel doesn't have a lot of
Yeah, no,
social.
no. I get it.
And Meckel doesn't
I get
go
it. It's
like,
just the way you laughed in the middle of it. I pointed at the loot. Was
Oh,
really
that
funny.
that wasn't Meckel. That
That-
was.
I know
Matt.
that was you, and it was very funny.
But
we can get you your own. This one is sacred.
because you say so. That's a. He
Come on
asked
to me.
you Flat out, like he's not trying to
he's
be funny.
literally
He's being.
he's asking you follower to God right now.
Yeah.
Because this comes from a dear friend. That I hope one day I can get back to him or at least his family.
You either die a hero or live long. In
I will go over and with a lot of reverence pick up the fingers.
a lot of reference. I love this whole exchange. This is insane.
And offer them to you.
So much has
This
happened.
is so much better than anything I ever imagined for Cole with this kind of thing.
We'll figure
Cole
out
had
what to do with
a-
these fingers.
I have
Beautifully traumatic.
Don't tell
Exit.
Log we have them.
For now.
Beautiful. Yeah. For now.
Doctor-
For now. Because he's still there.
Yeah.
In the mind.
Yeah.
And he has done what he can.
Cole's screaming against the glass, kind of thing. But
I also imagine him probably like just a little. There's a twinge of a smile, a little pride there because of what.
Cole's
his-
Cole's totally like looking at whatever it is and going, You thought my friends were pushovers, didn't you?
You see like the image of it kind of like turn around and face you, just absolutely monumentally intimidating across you, this tiny little thing behind this glass chamber in your mind. What I think is irrelevant, but what I will do, you will bear witness.
Cole's gonna look right back to him and go, "You may think you have control, but we will wrest it back." And Cole's gonna try and project along the mental image of the glass an image of every single one of his friends. Eleazar, Queenie, fucking
Just like
Darius,
major, minor image.
yeah,
Yeah.
just everybody across there of, these are the people who are backing me. This is what's coming.
There's
for
like an
you."
appendage that runs across the torso, like the midsection of each of these across the glass. It just kind of scrapes the glass. Good to know.
Good to know.
Just don't forget to put Meckel right there.
Oh yeah, no, Meckel's standing right next to Cole. The whole reason Cole came
Meckel
back
came in
was for
clutch with that.
Meckel.
Huh?
Meckel was clutch with that and
Yeah,
grabbed
he's-
on. It was that one point that really helped out.
Well, no, and
No,
Cole
that
came
is scared.
back.
Meckel scared it. So
Yes, Meckel's in that image like.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So, and that's the last, for now, that we see or hear of Cole. So, back in the place of metal corridors and lights of blue. For some reason,
be
Zemnik has
fine.
decided in this moment to run like a dog and pant like
No,
a
I have tiny little legs. And she's fast.
just messing.
So I.
She's super fast.
I'm just walking.
You're trying to make fun of Trishenia's going,
Oh no.
stop it, I'm not a dog.
It was more me being out of breath because I have to like
I know what it
sprint.
was. I was
Yeah,
just messing with you.
I'm literally just walking at a normal pace.
You're just striding, doing
Yeah.
We've got a long way to go, so we might as well.
So we can skip forward a bit. You guys you were headed to
Engineering.
engineering.
Well, not engineering.
No,
sorry, the
portal.
teleportation room.
Teleportation.
Yep. Sorry.
Teleportation room.
I just wanted to say engineering.
You reach from what you see, what are like the end of where these lights lead. These lead you through a labyrinthine thing of up, down, left, right, to and fro. Before you're finally thrown before I'm going to start to describe these things as far as the players understand them. I hope that you will do your best to try to discern what it is that your characters understand.
Sure.
But yeah, because it's best for me to describe them because we have experienced quite a bit of sci-fi, so it's referentially it's going to save me a lot of time. Unless I want you to be in the dark in certain things, which, because for dramatic stuff effect, I might. You come across what appears to be some sort of blast door. Open the blast door. Open the blast door. That is collapsed inward. Like there is a lot of rubble and debris of like metal that's kind of almost bent the blast door frame inward. You don't see a way through this. Not from your cursory look.
Okay. I don't see any switches or anything. You don't see anything.
And it's not like the door. The door is like open. It's so bent that it's fully open, and there's just like like a collapsed cave tunnel of steel and not steel, but just metal and whatever it is in there. From there. There's like one swinging piece, like wire that's going. Tss, tss, tss.
Starting to get the idea that we're not gonna get anywhere on our own in here.
Yeah.
I mean,
We could
can you ask it where the override is? It said there was one.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's gonna do, but
Hello. Again. Where is the manual override to the teleportation?
Manual override located to your immediate right. You
Take a
turn
look.
and there's like a little chamber that opens up. This little lever. Warning. Manual override vents engineering chamber to 0 atmosphere.
Oh, okay.
Please make sure blast door is secured.
We're going to lose the atmosphere if we hit this.
Pretty much saying that you have to make sure the engineering blast door is closed because it's going to open it to space.
Yeah.
And the blast door is non-existent.
Yeah.
So that's probably not a good idea.
No. Okay, so we probably
You
shouldn't
could
then-
do it. Blow a bunch of the debris out and try to hold on.
But at the same, yeah, probably not a good idea though, because we can't. I know we could breathe, but I like not feeling like I'm boiling alive. I mean, I don't know about you, and of course we don't know how much further or other things that are blocked off, so that we would still have air.
Yes, and any of the things we might need could also get sucked out
Yeah.
with the debris. So
Possible.
All right. So, do you
think
want
it's
to
time
friend?
to ask for help.
Let's do it. Oh, friendly voice, can you please direct us to wherever the...
Thank you for considering me a friend.
Can you please direct us to where the closest engineering crew is sleeping?
Engineering crew located in hibernation chamber at core.
Can you please direct us there? Thank
Bunch
you.
of the lights going in the corridor, save you time. You guys eventually arrive at another blast door that is entirely intact. You feel, I think you're both extremely intelligent individuals. You feel like you're going more towards the center of the superstructure rather than you are like the perimeter and moving along it and like going down the gantries and doing different other chambers. You're going to more like, from your spatial understanding, probably going towards closer to where like the two bottoms of the
very center.
yeah, kind of like the center, like the very, very center. The
Okay.
core. You do come across a highly reinforced blast door.
All right. Is there another manual override or anything?
There's like a panel that moves up, and there is some sort of like, you don't know how to deal with this. It looks like there's like a bowl of gel in there.
Have the
You put your hand
synapses-
into it.
Stick my finger in
Yeah.
it.
You stick your
syna-
finger into it.
Really? Really?
You feel like some like the like a semi-permeable membrane. The amount of pressure you feel upon your finger is immense as this gel tries to like push itself into your bloodstream, like through the epidermis of your finger, and you pull it out, and it just goes. Identification not accepted.
It was trying to go inside of my skin.
Yeah.
Nanites.
Yeah, that's where I was.
You're not there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I'm,
No God mode.
I mean, let
Michael, you don't hear that either.
me try connecting with it then.
You're dead or something.
I stick my hand in the thing.
I'm not dead. I've
I
lost
know.
control.
Yeah.
Well, let me try. And I stick my hand in there.
You stick your hand in there.
And
you
I try-
also feel immense pressure. Do you keep it in there?
I try to, with whatever mental fortitude I can, try to have the twig gel kind of
I'll
connect
save
with
you the
it.
effort. So,
Yeah.
like, all I'm asking you is that do you keep your hand in there through the immense pressure or not?
Yes.
Okay. You do so. It's not a pleasant experience, but you do see kind of for a moment, like after some pain, like almost like your hand is sweating some of that silvery liquid that was injected into you by Twig. And you see the blast door start to, like the perimeter of the blast door start to create this kind of like blue symbols all around of it as it, and like 4 or 5 doors begin to open throughout this entire thing until you are viewed, or you are allowed to view the vista almost that is before you. There is a gantry corridor that goes right ahead of you. At the end of it is some sort of pillar that seems to extend as far as it can up and as far as it can down, as far as what you can see. From the right and left side, there are what looks like capsules that encase only some of them, as a lot of them look somewhat damaged. Humanoid or at least bipedal individuals that look to be of more mechanoid structure than anything else.
You told us about your
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking of too. Can
For
we,
player reference, so I can save the effort of re-explaining this, this looks almost exactly the same as what he was experiencing before. To that
I can
effect,
get rid
you
of my
see
maybe.
a mechanoid individual at the very edge of it with their palm or hand touching the core, kind of stuck in that position, like what had ended in Log's dream. And how now there are a bunch of other ones. There are a bunch of other capsules with other robotic or mechanical individuals that are part of this big cylinder at the edge of this gantry that surround this big core thing that kind of like the things went away, and then a bunch of others like repopulated the wall all the way up and all the way down. And that's what you see.
Okay.
If you want to reference what I talked about before, you can.
And the characters would have a vague understanding, because I know
I
Log
think you
couldn't
would have
describe
a
it
past-
perfectly, but
You're right. I think
In log speak, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys are extremely, again, you are the most intelligent of the group. I think there would be a hauntingly familiar description from what Log said to this. So much to be like, you're not sure if this is actually what he saw or not, but
There's a lot of
coincidence
Yeah.
and serendipity can only go so far.
yeah,
Can you ask it who we wake up?
yeah.
How we wake them up? I don't understand any of this.
I mean, I kind of do.
I mean,
but
those are
yeah.
people of some kind, but
Also, this
do we
is.
just go knock on the thing and hope they wake up?
I mean, maybe. I think I can ask.
And I mean, maybe is that one asleep? Is he dead? I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, we can ask a few questions.
Does the gantry look stable?
The gantry, yeah, it looks pretty stable. Some the capsules, like the hibernation chambers, quite a few of them do not. They look heavily damaged. Some of that looks entirely inactive. Some are entirely empty.
I was gonna go over and poke the guy that was.
Don't poke him
It's
yet.
quite a ways away. This
okay.
gantry is very long. Remember how big this megastructure is? You do see it. It's at least maybe several hundred feet, if not 1,000 feet away from you.
Okay. Making character.
But it's like
No,
at
I'm
this
just
point,
seeing
like
how these guys are
reasonably
good to
well
use.
lit, so you can still see it.
Okay.
Because you
Never
can
mind.
see it very, very far.
I'll wait
away.
for her to ask.
For my
right.
stats.
He was just like 50 feet away across the bridge.
No. It is extremely long.
But-
We're talking about like super dystopian sci-fi, like really, really long gantry over an impossibly long drop. That is like, if you're going that way, you have to very well make the decision that you're going that way.
All right. Excuse me. Can you point us to one of the closest engineering crew members? And is that guy okay standing there?
You hear the voice. Or do you step to the threshold, or are you still beyond the door? Or before the door? Are you before the threshold, or are you past?
I know.
the
I understand.
Sorry.
I'll go through because
Okay.
it opened the door to us. So.
Yeah, sure. You walk through. I mean, nothing happens. You just
Yeah.
ask the question, and the voice only comes from back from the threshold.
Okay.
From like a speaker that you don't see. Like, I am not privy to what happens within the core. Security measure 1.5933C3829.
Is there some sort of symbol or some designation for engineering that we might identify that crew member?
I am not privy to engineering's designation, security protocol, and it goes off and lists a bunch of other letters and numbers.
All right.
Almost like whatever AI or whatever it is, this thing has been partitioned to not have certain information for compartmentalization reasons, in order to make sure that should anybody hack it or whatever,
Right.
people would still be safe.
All right. Well, I guess we can. No help.
Trial and error.
Yep. Do you want to go talk to the guy that's just standing there?
Guess it can't hurt.
Yeah. At least we
Well.
can check on them. It could probably hurt, but you know. Best bet. All right. Here we go. Am I understanding any symbols that are on any of the pods at this point?
Yeah, I mean,
Again,
it's the same symbols. It's the same idea as to what is like. It is a assembly language that you don't know the key to be able to figure
Any
out. You
cogs-
get what it says, like you understand what it says, but it doesn't make any sense.
What
to
about the nanites doing their synaptic?
you. Correct? You are
connections?
that is something that is happening gradually.
Yeah.
You're like, some things become passingly familiar.
Okay.
You can keep asking that question, and I'll let you know as what I will say is that you do start to see some vague. Actually, do me a favor. Roll an investigation check. Both of you can do this. I suppose.
Yay. Okay. Cool.
23.
23.
26.
26. Both of you work together, and you do find that there are small engravings upon the glass. You're not sure. Maybe it's glass. Of these pods, for lack of a better term, that are in these symbols. And they all seem to be different. So they probably look like some sort of identification tag or something. You have some sort of, you notice a couple things that there are a couple that are grouped together that have like the same first symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are a bunch of others that like look, you kind of go over, and not all of these are intact, just so you know. But there also have like a different but also same symbol. And you're like starting to go, oh, like these might be actual like compartment or like department designations. And you sort of have this passing familiarity, and like, okay, well that looks like yeoman or something, or not something along that, but the kind of vibe you're getting from these things as these synapses start to build here is that this feels like ship titles, like on some sort of sailing vessel or boat or ship, bosun, but not necessarily those terms, but just along those lines of like yeoman,
Commanders,
bosun, rigger, first mate, those types of things, officer, engineering, medical, those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to get like the whole kind of Star Trek vibe from this.
Okay.
I mean, not that you would
Naval vibe.
No.
Naval,
Naval
vibe.
vibe.
Thank you.
Naval
Thank you.
vibe.
Naval vibe. But there's also a lot of designations that, again, you know you understand it, but that name doesn't mean anything to you.
Like chief engineer.
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, but it doesn't like actually translate as chief engineer. It changes as something else. The more and more your synapses start to build, you're starting to get that this language is procedural, meaning that it actually is an evolutionary language for like. Actually, that's a very good. Do me a favor. Roll an intelligence check for this. This is very, very interesting.
As we're looking at these things,
Sure.
is there a recognizable? Okay, so sort of universally, there's a big red button. There's a scram.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not big red, but yes.
Yes.
Yeah. The thing that it was like leaning into and it was pressing.
From my like.
Yeah, you're looking for the big
mechanical-
red button.
yeah,
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah, of course. I want to press the big red button, whatever it does. I don't care.
There's usually like an emergency shutdown or
Sure.
like stop this now.
Yeah.
Kind of a button.
From
With my.
at the
know
moment
if
you are
any
like gradually
artificer
moving
doesn't-
down the gantry. So unless you want to get close to this big core thing, yeah. But if you're looking at each pod,
Yeah.
I'll get to that in a
Because we
moment.
were
Let me
looking
just
at the symbols.
let me just resolve this real quick, and then I'll get to that. But do not let me forget, because it is important.
17.
17. Okay, cool. So you're starting to understand that this language is, if it's a language at all, it does not work in any of the type of syntax that you understand any of the other languages. That, of course, the spell comprehend language is built upon. Because a lot of the languages that are part of the world of Vonteria are built upon a at least somewhat common or at least relatable syntax. This is not. Every symbol in this language requires knowledge of all of the previous symbols and languages and statings that have ever been written down or spoken before. It is procedural, meaning that you have to know everything, being born into this culture, learning all of it gives you context to be able to understand this type of stuff. So it's entirely procedural. So you have to be able to like read everything for you to understand one thing. Does that make sense to you? Like all of it, the language isn't actually this symbol means this. It's this symbol refers to a understanding of an idea from this story of. Remember when what is it? Something and something at Tanagra from Star Trek. where it was like Jean-Luc Picard and they were
It's the Beast at Tanagra because they make the
Beast-
reference in lower decks because they
Yes.
actually have a Kaishon from that race in there.
Yes, thank you, Kevin. So yeah, so it's like it's
Just watched it the other day.
It's like anecdotal references of, but not quite as like that. But it's more like because it is a little bit more logical and arithmetical. If that's a word, arithmetic. I don't know.
Mathematical.
There you
Sure, but not math though. Like it's because it's not like numbers, it's values. Does that make sense? Like symbols having values but not but numbers. Granted, I don't have the vocabulary to actually I'm not a linguist. I don't have the vocabulary to properly explain this, but it is procedural referential, meaning that and it is anecdotal. So it does require knowledge of previous things that have happened, whether those be stories like at Tanagra or other books or other things that are all available to you in this mega structure of like maybe a manual or whatever, doesn't matter, that type of thing, which makes it, which now you understand, that's why I can't fucking understand this, because I don't have
The
proper
context.
context, and proper context is integral to this language, and the magic that is meant to do this doesn't make sense here, because this is not from Vonteria, which now you fully understand that you are not on Vonteria, 100%.
Just
You're
in
not
case.
there. You're not on that planet. So you have just been given the gift of there are other things out in the sky. It's space, and we're not alone or whatever. And I'm not anywhere near home. I am extremely far away. I'm the farthest I've ever been. One more step, Mr. Frodo.
There's
Like
also now
you're
a
so
UFO.
far.
We know that there's a UFO hanging in the center of
Yeah.
Fillmore Bay.
Yeah, and now you know that something like this is hanging in the center of the world.
And at the bottom of the ocean, and I know that I saw it in the Astral
Much
Sea
smaller,
before.
but yes, and yeah. Also, the same scale as the one that was at the bottom of the ocean is the one that you saw moving through space or whatever.
So smaller.
Yeah, the smaller one. These massive mega structures, the only other one you have familiarity with, or because you have seen it because you have been to Thulmur, is the Aetherwell Macrolith. Meaning that there is a big alien ship hanging in the middle of Thulmore Bed
Yeah,
that
there's
the
a UFO.
Triumvirate uses as their seat of power.
In the the World Fair. It's,
Yeah,
literally.
kind of,
Like
yeah.
Men in Black.
But like at a much greater scale. Yeah.
And she has seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, because we ran through there
Yep, yeah, I said that.
for my family. Yeah, yeah.
Sunday. Ancient aliens. That's what it's aliens.
Ancient aliens.
It's always aliens. Like,
But that's what
man.
this is. We're not obviously we're
My
not
campaign is just ancient aliens.
Somewhere close.
we're not on Monteria. So I know you probably knew that, but it's just all of this is referential. We'd have to like study it quite a bit, you know.
Yes.
And still would probably
So-
not even know.
If I may, with the two of you, the very, very high intelligent individuals here, there's probably, I don't want to infringe with it, but I feel very excited. You're both of you are probably
Geeking
like,
out.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You're like, this is amazing.
Everything we want, everything we figure out, just opens up like 16 more questions.
Yeah, exactly.
oh,
Rest
fuck,
of the
did I just
party
let
is
an alien
forgotten.
take a
The
jet?
perfect people to be doing this, by the way. This was wild. I'll save it for the burn ends.
Yeah, please do. Like,
Yeah.
this is we've got so
So
much
we're-
for the burn ends
Yeah.
tonight.
Slowly making our way
Yeah.
to the one
Yeah.
lone figure.
How
It's
many
just
of the,
standing
like,
there.
are you taking time to like look at these each individually, or just every so often trying to check some of these identification things? Are you looking for an engineer, or are you just trying to go to the end and see what's going on at the end?
I'm trying. Well, I would try to understand and catch some sort of pattern. I know it's referential, but like start to try to understand, because if I have to get full context, right, then I have to have data input, basically.
Sure.
And so then just continuing to check as we walk towards. The
Yeah,
engineer.
that makes a lot of
you and
sense. You
I
just try to
there.
gather as much data as you're moving. Yeah, absolutely.
Zemdak would probably just be looking out for anything recognizable. Like he's looking for that Rosetta Stone that would let him understand.
Your Rosetta Stone at the moment, you very well recognize is her.
Not literally as in a language sense, but how does my mechanical knowledge translate to
Oh, okay.
this
As far as the
mechanical
tech.
knowledge? Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. Cool. I'm gonna have you
So
do two
I'm
things.
just keeping an eye out for anything that I'm like, oh, I know how that works. So now I can start
Good luck.
figuring
Yeah, sure.
out how this tech works.
Totally understand. Cool. We're gonna roll some dice.
Oh,
why
that's a
don't-
gear. I know how gears
Yeah,
work.
that's a sprocket.
Right.
I know
That's
the
a
difference between a
button. I know how
sprocket and a
buttons
gear.
Vent.
There's a screw. I can take that apart.
There are no screws. There are
Yeah.
no rivets. There are no fasteners of any type.
The whole thing's a big puzzle, like a Japanese puzzle.
Puzzle box.
Yeah.
Or a Rubik's cube or something.
So
So
we
do me a
lost
favor.
Way to get into one of those puzzle
You're not
boxes.
coming
Roll
back.
Smash the floor and step.
We're stuck.
Intelligence check as you're doing
Apart from
this.
that, like, just
Zamdak, can you please roll a tinkering check?
No.
Intelligence based.
Fuck you.
No, fuck you. Go for that.
Still 13.
Oh man, no.
24.
24. Okay.
2 on the die is a 13.
Oof.
Whoa.
So Zemdak, you are one of the things. I think you feel just a tad bit disheartened
Yeah.
because whatever this is so beyond anything that you've ever seen before, and it makes you just a little frustrated. Like you feel probably a little more frustrated than you fascinated because you're like, no. There's nothing I don't understand.
I have to
Fuck
figure this
you,
out.
I will get this. It's like having those people that have never been challenged in their life, they've always been succeeded, and then coming across something that they can't figure out, and they absolutely flip ape shit because they can't figure it out because they've never been challenged like that before. It's kind of what you are in this moment. You're like, I think you're probably like, you're keeping it under control, but inside I think you're blowing a gasket. So
Why does she get it?
if,
Why
if
don't
that
I
makes
get it?
sense, I don't want to
Yeah, it
pose
does.
myself. Yeah. And you're probably a little jealous because, like, no, I should have fucking come up with this shit.
I save her ass all the time with my intelligence.
I'm the smartest person in the world. I should know how this works.
Hopefully she fails.
I
that
didn't blow
insight
myself
check.
up like my master.
Trisheni,
Yes.
you got a 26? Is that
24.
24?
It was almost nat 20.
So you are, you're quickly learning this very quickly as synapses are being built, pathways are being built by the minute through your brain, and your more exposure to this is understanding. And a couple things occur to you. I want to say just 2 major things. One, you're starting to get just the very, 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 very basic understanding of how this language works, if it is a language at all. And so you can get things like yes, no, this, that.
Okay.
And I want to say love because it's weird.
Caution.
Bad,
Yeah.
good, even though those are very,
Nebulous.
that's very extremely nebulous. So like I'm sorry, positive, negative, things like that. You're getting some sort of binary, very kind of very, very basic fundamental
Okay.
understanding as to how this language works. One of the things you do notice as you're gathering all this information is that there are some of these pods that are designated as more important than others.
Okay.
That's what you understand, number 1. Number 2, as you're looking around in here and you're starting to understand and more information is flooding your synapses, you have the instinct that this is not the way it's supposed to be. Something is very, very, very wrong here.
Okay.
I'm not there.
Like all this damage, so many, the majority of all these pods, like we're talking about like 80% of these pods are damaged beyond repair. The individuals that are within them are dead and gone,
Okay.
and cannot be revived, cannot be fixed.
Are these organic? Are these more
Would you like to take a
Zec-Tech?
closer look?
I mean, can we see inside the pods?
Yeah.
Would you like to open one?
No.
They're transparent.
Yeah.
Some
That's
of them
what-
are
yeah.
broken, and like the ones that are broken don't have that blue light to them because they're like gray and like. Some have like fallen through the glass that they're in.
Yeah.
Would you like to like dissect, examine one?
No, just, I mean,
Like,
does
can we
it look
see
like
it?
flesh? Does it look like
It looks
wood,
like
metal?
a material that
Molotov?
I think just for me as a human, I think defies explanation.
Okay.
But if you had to give it to them, would at the best guess be some sort of metallic or ore? You know how I have a difficulty explaining to you what the well walls are made out of? And
Same
what, like,
kind
the
of thing?
eldritch type this is made of, whether it's a stone, an ore, a metal, or everything. Same kind of paradigm.
The idol? You're talking about the idol, right?
Eldritch idol or the well wall material. Just how it's like you're not sure if it's made out of a metal, an ore, a stone, yada yada yada. Just because it's something that you don't have a classification for in your world. We don't either. So it is. It's plastic. It's all
It's baked
plastic.
like-
It's the mental
The future
projection.
is plastic.
It's
Yeah.
the
I mean,
mental
that's how
projections of the Uber God. That's what it is.
As far as you like, it's very hard to actually discern what
Only
this
in your
material
world.
is. Again, I'll ask you: would you like to take a closer look?
I think we're just trying to make our way over to the,
Yeah.
Okay.
the solo figure that.
Okay. You make your way over to this solo figure.
But I will say something is not quite right. Everything's been damaged.
A lot of them look dead.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we saw that venting. I'm assuming that's it.
Something bad happened to this thing.
Yeah, we should be on the lookout for anything that might be here that is not supposed to be here. I don't know what that would be, but just keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
Okay.
You make it to the individual that appears to be partially bent over its hand. Remind me if I'm doing this correctly, by the way, because I believe you did a thing during your dream sequence. This is just kind of picking up from where that left off. If I remember correctly, I believe this thing bent over a little bit and like pressed this button, or
They were looking for.
Couldn't find the
There
key.
was a hole. There was a tetrahedral.
Hexagonal indent.
Yeah, there was an invitation that they
right.
were
That
looking
looks like there was a
for-
key that was supposed to be put in there, but it was missing.
And they were looking for where that should be to be placed into
Right.
that.
And then you couldn't find anything.
And then
that's
that,
when
like
you
that's when
pulled
the
out.
dream.
So
ended.
like
they're
it
looking
looks
for
like
the answer.
this
They
thing
have
was like
42.
kind of like balancing itself by holding onto the pillar and looking around. One hand is on a bit of like a ridge of like this kind of terminal that is starts at kind of eye level before it gets a little bit narrower and it looks like a fiber optic just pillar that goes up until you can't see it anymore. Well, I mean, into as far as this thing is big, and which is you get the idea. And the other one is like kind of holding on to just kind of give it weight, and it's just kind of frozen in that position. So most of its form is actually blocking the whole terminal or interface or whatever you want to call it, part of what could be something that you could glean information from or understand or interact with as you get close to this. One of these individuals that is in these pods is here, out of a pod, stuck, frozen in this position, grabbing onto this thing, looking around the other, like trying to look around the corner. Looks to be inert.
Well, we can try.
Is there a pod that's open?
There is.
That's
You passed
different?
one not too long ago. It could be, it's no more than 20 paces away.
Okay. Can run back and look and see what it might have said on there. And
The
try to
identification,
understand.
it says, ooh, this is another good chance. Go ahead and roll another intelligence check. I'm going to say at this point, because you've gleaned so much information, you can do this at advantage.
Thank you. Oh God.
That's the idea.
They don't exist.
Yeah, here we go. Now we're getting it.
No. We create them ourselves.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
guys.
To steal other people's power.
Because
But then you get followers anyway, and we start the process.
oh yeah,
all
no,
over
no.
again.
Paige and Poopty were in Cole's like
Yeah.
like friends.
I'm so
So-
excited for this. Go ahead.
13.
13.
I
And
got
Poopty.
a 6 and an 8.
The best you can tell is that it does have the same thing about a couple of the others that are near it, have the same type of like beginning designation. All of those are out of commission. This is the
Okay.
only one of that group that is of commission. You're not sure what it is. You're not sure if it's one of the more important or less important. These are very, very, very difficult things to figure out. You're dealing with you get the idea.
Yeah.
An actual alien something.
Yeah.
Whether it be dictionary definition or colloquial definition, we don't know yet. But
Can I look inside of its pod?
yeah. what are you looking for, or do you want to just describe what the inside of the pod looks like?
Yeah. Just,
There is what looks like remnants of the type of gel. Looks like perhaps dried, but not all the way. That she had to put her hand into to try to unlock the door. There looks to be some sort of grate or drain from this gel within there. And as you look at the other ones, because it was so translucent and so perfectly translucent and transparent or whatever, you now see, oh, okay, it's actually in all the other pods that are still active. But you couldn't tell until you had something to reference it to because it just looks so perfectly. It's like when you see some type of water bottles that are filled perfectly up with the water bottle that have no air in them. Sometimes you can't tell that they actually have water in them.
Yeah.
And they just look empty. That type of thing. You do see that. Other than that, it's just kind of this rounded oval. That's, oh, jeez, sorry. It's kind of rounded oval prism-ish thing. Kind of like a long ostrich egg or something, or like one of those dino DNA, big dino eggs that they had in like Jurassic Park, those long oval ones. It's kind of like that.
is there like
There's not really anything else in here.
There's not like a bed that it was like a cushion.
No,
that
it
was
looks
lying
like they're
on?
all like suspended
On-
in this
Oh, okay.
gel, like
Okay.
suspended, like so they're not touching any of the sides. And this one was drained. Something came out. It looks to be, from what you're looking around, the only one. And you're even looking at like the big cylinder that goes up infinitely and down infinitely. At first cursory glance, the only one that's open.
Can I compare? Is there like a control panel?
No. There's no like buttons or anything of that. It's just this glass
Egg.
part, like egg oval, that half of it vertically sliced is open. You don't even see a hinge. And the gel has drained. And the only other thing that is not there, it's like half of it is inset into the wall, and like at just a tiny bit of an angle, so it could like lean back a little bit, and etched into, like engraved into, like upper left part of the open door of it is the
Straight
identification,
symbols. Okay.
and that's it. There's nothing else here. Everything here is so streamlined, super a retro modern, or like mid-century modern, that type of feel. Mid-century sci-fi modern.
Okay.
I'm not figuring any, like, this is super frustrating. I get.
Yeah.
I don't understand
Zemdek's
any
like,
of it.
what the fuck?
I know. I'm like, I'm starting to understand, but at the same time, I can't get this particular symbols, and it's very exciting, also very
Like it-
frustrating.
I mean, how do you do anything?
I don't think you're supposed to. It kept saying stasis, right?
Like, but somebody has to. Somebody had to do something.
Very good point. Zemdak, go ahead and roll an intelligence check. This is like another tech check for you.
Okay.
But based on intelligence, so it's the same thing, I guess. Well, you get proficiency, that's why.
13.
This is the worst Zemdak has ever rolled for anything ever. Zemdak is stumped, and it is probably supremely frustrating.
Finally.
You
mean,
can
we can-
roll just a
if only
straight
he had
intelligence
one
check.
there.
You don't get proficiency because you're not a tech expert. You're a magic expert.
Or coal.
Non-transformable.
Adam's like, it's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I don't do as well.
I will figure this out.
8. Yeah, both of you guys are kind of stumped. Like, how is the interface? How are they supposed to interact with this
Right.
stuff? There's nothing here. There's no way. There's no user interface.
I mean-
how are you supposed to do anything? Tech is supposed to be a tool. How do you grab onto this tool?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is the gel, right?
Can I? Yeah, that was my thought too. Can I scoop up some of the gel that?
Yeah, it's a little dry and crusty, but you can.
And then can I like smear it
Where?
along the bottom half of the pod?
Yeah?
This is
Yeah.
gonna get worse from here. I'm
at-
sorry.
At the very end of it.
Yeah.
So like the bottom of the oval. I just
Okay,
wanna,
sure.
Like, smear.
You smear it on the bottom of the oval. The one that's open, right?
Yeah.
You smear it on the bottom of the oval.
So where we find out his robotic waste.
Adam, I'm sorry, Adam. Zemdak goes,
Yeah.
I don't think it did anything. Just still hold on to some of it. Maybe we can.
stare at your hand with the gel on it.
Yeah.
You should know better than to just wipe your gel anywhere and
cream.
expect
Well-
things to work.
Along the wall where the pod came out of, just
Yeah, like the spot in between the pods.
like scrape it off.
Yeah. And we know that.
Not the
happens.
gel.
No, not the gel. I'm inclined to try to talk to that individual. I don't know.
Okay.
I,
I mean, he looked like he was not awake.
yeah, but
I don't know how to wake him up. I mean,
can, can try something. I mean,
Also, don't know why
yeah, he's just standing
assigning
there.
male gender to this mechanical individual.
I don't know why. I don't know why they're there.
Log was dealing with it.
I'm just
Yeah.
being-
Log was inside of it. So
Yeah, I think that's why.
Oh, come on.
Walk over, mage hand, tap it on the shoulder, say, "Greetings" in Celestial.
You do so.
Looks like that worked just as well as the smearing
Nothing
of the.
moves. Nothing changed. There are like, I want you to just like, there are some power.
we should
As,
hold her
again,
up there.
talking to the players, there are some what appears to be like power fluctuations throughout. But they're by no means as frequent or intense as they have been in the rest of the superstructure that you have been in. It appears that it's taking a lot of energy to make sure that there aren't any power fluctuations in this area of this megastructure. But it does happen. It's not constant light from these things. But you do so, no response, no nothing. As you get closer, though, you do see that hexagonal kind of like inset thing of, and it looks like there are. You're familiar with how like wiring works, kind of. It looks like there are some types of like receivers for either information or electrical circuit or something, or magical circuit or something that are like ready to be connected to something. Like something is supposed to be put in here, but there's nothing there. And this thing was kind of grabbing around it and
looking.
just got stuck in that position. And it doesn't, but that's it.
Do you think the voice would know?
I kind of doubt it only because of how it was saying that there's, basically protocols in place so that it doesn't know what's going on in here.
Log. You're sipping tea, right?
Yeah, I'm just
Sipping
resting
tea.
and relaxing.
There is a very strange sense that you get now that you are able to focus on something more than just your own survival.
Stop being self-centered.
Of like, not I'm in danger, but something else is in danger.
Where the fuck is Cole?
That doesn't go away. It's like constant. It's like this constant, like it feels like that feeling of like when you're walking through something and you feel like you're being watched and you're like, what is that? And it's like partially paranoid, but it's not for you. It's for something or someone else. Yeah, what's up?
So I just had a thought about this.
Sure.
With this, Cole let whatever it was take control of him.
Yeah.
Log is connected to that through what
Oh,
he
boy,
had
I'm
his
getting
book
to it.
eat. Like
we're on
I'm
the
just
same,
like,
we're on the same wavelength. I'm getting to it. We're building to it. Don't worry about it.
So I'm trying to remember. I know I saw Argus poof.
Yeah.
Did I see? I'm trying to remember if I saw.
You saw Cole go back. I mean,
No. We were
Trisheni.
unconscious.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. One person at a time. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to remember if I saw Trisheni and Zemdak poof.
we were both unconscious when they poofed.
If I remember, you were not only were you unconscious, even if you were conscious, 4 points of exhaustion.
Okay.
There's no way.
Okay,
No,
so
he
that's all I was curious.
he was at 2
I
at
think
that point.
you have been, since you have been conscious, focused on nothing but self-preservation.
Yeah, so I'm just curious, like if I would even.
I mean,
think
there would be a
to-
dramatic
Yeah.
moment where you could possibly do something for somebody else, but there wasn't. You didn't really see an opportunity for that, so you're just like, get the fuck away and get a point to lay down so I can breathe. That's your goal.
But I'm not like thinking like who
You're not.
might be in danger.
No, you're not seeing anything. You're just getting this like.
I'm just getting the sense of who's in danger.
It's like similar to, if I could go a little meta here, similar to how an alarm spell would work for a wizard. You're getting like a bit of a pang of like, something has happened that's not supposed to happen, that I put a thing in place so that it does not happen. It's kind of setting off bells in my head, but I don't know what it is. I know maybe
This hasn't worked yet.
It's the tea.
This hasn't worked yet.
somebody stole my drugs.
So this has not worked yet since shit went down. I'm going to try and summon my book.
Oh. Okay. You summon your book. Your book doesn't come out of your arm. You summon your book, and what you feel is in, like, you know, the attire that you wear and the jacket that you wear. You just feel, just kind of like, start to grow out of the fabric of your attire, and it feels as though it's like inside one of the pockets in your jacket.
I will pull it out.
You pull it out. It does not look the same.
Does it look like it's got all the like twag writing and all that shit on it?
Yeah. Also, it's not a book. It's not something that you could, like, a tome that you open. It looks like a pad.
That's literally where my brain just went. Yeah.
Like a tablet. And I, as far as Log understands it, the old term of a tablet, not the new term of a tablet. But it does look like a piece of metal or ore or stone that's just kind of rounded at the edges, that's just there.
Steve Jobs exists in the other world.
I mean,
don't you dare.
I mean, in Star Trek, they're actually called pads too.
Well, so given what you just said, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find the idol in it.
I love how you do this, like we do this today.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
left, right. Oh, okay, left, right.
Honestly, I think Log would just know that without knowing.
I think
anyway.
Log immediately downloads Tinder and he starts.
Must like
Actually,
okay.
I'm pretty sure Log would be right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Anytime he finds
Okay,
a
wait.
bugbear.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So you kind of like hold this thing and you're like what is this? And then it starts to, like, you put your thumbs on like each side of everything, and there's like this ripple, kind of like Sheikah Slate Zelda style, where like whoop, it kind of recognizes your thumbs for a minute and it starts to like boot up. But it's not. I want you to make it very clear. It's far more magical or magitech or type of tech that is more reminiscent and similar to magic than it is tech. Does that make sense? Okay. Just to give you guys, make sure that we're on the same page as far as aesthetic is concerned.
Illusions, not.
Maybe not
LCD
illusions, but
screens.
like technology that is so far advanced that it looks like magic. There is an old idiom for that, but I can't remember the.
I mean, it's
person who coined
basically
it.
the idea of like a time traveler comes from the past to our time. They would find all of our tech.
Any
as magic.
technology so far advanced enough that it's unrecognizable is indiscernible from magic. I believe there's a saying from them, but it kind of looks like that. And as you do it, it just kind of like there's kind of like a ripple, like as if the top of it was water, and you look at it, you're like, whoa. As if it was like a well or like a plate.
What kind of tea did he give me?
Yeah, so like it's like it looks like it's just like a large bowl that's kind of square and rounded on the top that has some water in it, and it kind of ripples and changes, kind of like how the magnetic books thing that she has changes magnetically, but it's as if it's like a water thing, and you kind of turn it upside down, but no water falls out of it, and you're like, wow, this is cool. So it does
Do the
change.
bullshit thing with it. Put it over your head.
And you think about what it is you want to see, and it starts to ripple again, and you see the thing in it that you wanted to. It's still in there, right? Just remind me.
As far as I know,
right.
like,
Just
a lot of crazy
because
shit
a lot of stuff
happens,
has
so as
happened
far
with
as
that
I
stuff in
know.
other books, so I just want to make sure that it's still in there in the same representation. It looks like, for again player understanding, a photo was captured of it, of what the book would look like in there, and that's there. So it still almost kind of feels like paper too when you touch it, but it's there.
Okay, I feel better now.
Does the feeling go away, or the feeling is still there?
No, it feels still there. Whatever it is, it's not that. Argus,
Yes.
you sense Oh, actually, you know what? Fuck it. Roll an insight check for 2. I've said that so many times this episode. Roll an insight check with me. You can 26. You sense a new god or a new king that has come into existence. It could be you. It could be you. Meckel. All hail the hand of Argus.
Yeah, I do have in my notes here acolyte of Argus. Question mark.
That's your background acolyte.
Like-
I love it.
It's gonna be a whole play thing. I'm like, no, I'm not a god.
Stop worshiping me.
Hey,
It's a
save
good-
that.
It's a good thing I can't read or write. Otherwise, I'd be like,
Oh my god. Oh no.
Writing your
It's
scripture.
like Catholicism.
Which just makes it even worse because we founded the Church of Poopty in a bookstore.
So, you guys had your little vignettes as to what's going on because things are rippling and big things are happening. We're going to go back to you two.
So knowing something goes in there, can I look around for a hexagon?
You can. You're finding it difficult. There's not a whole lot of room. You know that scene in Star Wars where Obi-Wan's like has to like to power down the shields and stuff like that? There's not a lot of room. You have to like strafe across. Unless you remove this individual from this space, you're going to have a lot of difficulty looking around this pillar.
As a tiny gnome, can I fit through easily?
Nah, not even. Like it is like this thing is taking up. There is maybe 3 to 4 inches of walking space along the end. So this thing's not supposed to be walked around, and this thing is taking up all of the area that this thing is that is in front of it. I mean, you can stand perhaps in its space right in front of it, but that won't help you look. You only see whatever it is you can see right now.
It's like looking.
Yeah, no, it's like
over and around.
on it. It's on it. It was using it for support to look around.
Yeah.
And now it's like on it. You have to like, if you wanted to do a more in-depth investigation, you'd have to pry it off.
Can I try to reverse warg into log? Via the nanites.
does she get advantage for the tea?
Yeah. You can make an attempt. Yeah. You want to try to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually going to have Log
Let me try to do
roll
something.
an intelligence saving throw, and I'm going to have you roll a intelligence spell
We
attack.
hear a scream from
Okay.
the other room.
I'm so
Just a
disadvantaged.
spell
So you knocked off 1 level of exhaustion with the T, so I'm still at 3 levels of exhaustion. So that's
Which is still disadvantage.
That's still
Yeah, it's
disadvantage
correct.
for me.
You know, logs.
This was intelligence save.
Intelligence save.
Eleazar still.
I think yeah, you're just at flat nothing.
I'm pretty sure. Yep. So 7.
7.
I got 17 on the die.
17.
Plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trishani, as you do so, you feel yourself and your body and your mind not become cohesive with this space and reality. Like, you feel the same feeling like what happens when you teleport. And you feel that for a split second, and you have that realization as Zemdek is like, how do
I said something. I would have said something to him.
Yeah, no, it's
before.
fine.
Yeah,
Like,
trying
in this moment, you can say something
Yeah.
if you'd like. Like, there's a moment where you're like,
I'm gonna try to go back and. Talk
you're
to Log.
shuddering in and out like you're.
Oh.
What?
If she's starting to flicker, I would.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the time. You guys are right next to each other,
Yeah.
and she's like, you're
I'm back.
yeah."
Yeah, so I grab on.
Roll a dexterity saving throw,
Left by
or you
yourself.
get stuck
Can
here.
I try to grab onto him?
We're still probably tied together.
Yes. Yes. we
I will
wouldn't
give you
have-
advantage on the dex save.
Okay.
Didn't help. 14.
Do you have a world inspiration?
I do not.
Can I give you
'Cause you
one?
don't-
You're working with this, so I would say yeah. I don't have a problem with that.
Didn't help.
Okay, Trisheni, you
You get a lot left.
you say Zemda, and then she's gone.
The rope that was tying us together is it just like.
Yeah.
Trisheni, you appear right next to Log as he's sipping his tea.
Whoa, what?
We got to get Zemdek. He's not on this planet. I think he's in the space that you were there before.
I was in
He's
the
alone.
room before.
No. Your dream. You remember your dream? You were in this crazy like white pillar with the blue lights and
tubes, the
stuff.
tubes.
Yes, exactly.
The tubes.
Yes.
He's in the tubes.
He's not in the tubes. He's in. You were describing like the central pillar thing, and you were this creature.
hole.
The hole. Yes, he was
He's in
looking
the
at
hole.
that. He's not in the hole. He was looking at it. There was a creature there. It looks like they were stuck, but he is stuck there right now. I was just trying to connect back to you like you did through me before with like, Shakar. Have to do something to get him back.
So I have to go to sleep.
Please.
And in that moment, Zemdak,
Yep.
back where you are. What do you say? What do you do just in this moment as Tusheni teleports away? And the tether between the two of you severs.
I was probably lunging for her, so I just sort of like end up on the ground.
Yeah, you probably like end up at the ground between the legs of this individual, like grabbing like the air, and then you see the rope kind of like singe at the edge of where the teleportation stopped and fall off the edge and just kind of dangle.
So I just sort of collapse to my knees and start freaking out.
You start to like, shit.
I can't talk their language. I can't figure any of this out. There's nothing that makes sense here.
You can't fix it.
I can't.
You start to hear something
I like how you don't repeat that.
from behind you. A light on the gantry behind you. And take a breath.
Slow, like, what was that? Slow turn around.
You turn around, you see Cole standing there. Today is full of surprises. And that is where we're going to end this episode. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much. And as always, stay safe out there. Bye.